Live broadcast of Naruto begins with a movie The Death of Naruto. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 651. With the determination to defeat Naruto, Boruto knocked on the door of Konohamaru's house in the middle of the night, woke him up and rudely shouted that he wanted to learn the Rasengan. Konohamaru, who was originally sleepy, woke up instantly after hearing Boruto's request. He thought that he wanted to give Naruto a surprise in the Chunin exam. He immediately said happily that he would definitely complete this task seriously and was deeply moved by the fact that the Rasengan could be passed down. So from that day on, Boruto devoted himself to learning the Rasengan. The classic water ball, leather ball and balloon training made Boruto, who couldn't calm down, feel unusually irritable. Sarada, who had heard about this, secretly observed for a while. However, even with such an impetuous mentality, Boruto only took a few days to learn the Rasengan, although the size was slightly smaller than the normal model of Rasengan. Let's not talk about what Naruto did, but Boruto does look like a spoiled child. He woke up his teacher in the middle of the night and was only concerned about his own affairs. The teacher is very happy. But if he knew that Boruto was learning the Rasengan to deal with his father, I wonder what his expression would be. Although only a few scenes flashed, are those balls used to train the Rasengan? If I follow this training procedure, can I also learn the Rasengan? A-level ninjutsu. Before you try it, think about how many B-level ninjutsu you have mastered and how many C-level ninjutsu you have learned. The power of a simple Rasengan is actually not extraordinary. Think about it. Naruto has indeed defeated many enemies with this trick, but it seems that he has never killed an enemy once. Of course, this is also related to the fact that Naruto's opponents are not simple. The reason why the Rasengan is famous, because it is the signature ninjutsu of the fourth Hokage, and it can achieve the greatest effect when combined with his Flying Thunder God technique. When it comes to Naruto, it is directly raised to a new level when combined with abundant chakra, so the presence of this move is so strong. Am I dazzled? You learned it already, although the size is a little small. Judging from Konohamaru's expression, it seems to have succeeded. Did time fast forward? Why do I feel like it's only been a few days? It seems that it took Naruto 7 days to learn this move, and it started with a semi-finished product, and in the end it still required the cooperation of the shadow clone to perform it. This talent, there's something. Although I don't know how it compares to Sasuke, it is at least much stronger than Naruto. Tisk. How can that thing be considered a Rasengan? Besides, I don't need a shadow clone to perform a Rasengan now, Naruto muttered unconvinced. That thing is really a Rasengan. Jiraiya walked past Naruto and sat opposite him. Naruto looked up in confusion. You lecherous sage, you're a little fast today. Puff. Cough cough cough. Jiraiya put down the teacup in his hand and glared at Naruto. I'm worried about you, but it seems that you are fine now. After thinking for a few times, Naruto finally understood what Jiraiya meant, and he suddenly felt uncomfortable. I don't know what's going on with me on the sky, Zyuoke. It's the child's birthday, I can't do that. Okay, don't worry about it, as long as you know how to go correctly. Don't be affected by yourself on the sky, I told you this a long time ago. Jiraiya's persuasion calmed Naruto's emotions a little, and then he looked up at the sky, and an unconvinced expression appeared on his face again. But I won't agree with that yellow-haired kid. I've never seen anyone as arrogant as him. Hell, whatever you want. You are of the same age anyway. It doesn't matter if you disagree with him. Jiraiya smiled with a look of watching the fun, and then said, but that kid's talent is indeed better than yours. Although you can use the Rasengan with one hand now, don't forget how long it took you to complete it, and how many days it took that kid. Humph. Boruto appeared in front of Sasuke with a Rasengan he had learned. Looking at the chakra balls that were only the size of fingers between his hands, Sasuke commented expressionlessly, this is too small. It's hard for me to admit that this is a Rasengan, but the basic method is already there. Before he finished speaking, Boruto threw the Rasengan out in a rage, and then ran away without looking back. Looking at the direction he left, Sarada fell beside Sasuke and sighed, saying, you are too strict, Dad, you don't know Boruto. His usual personality is not like this. It's a miracle that he can do this. He was too impatient. I didn't say no. I was going to take him in as my apprentice. Sasuke said as he glanced at the place where Boruto had just thrown the Rasengan. He saw a shallow spiral pit on the trunk of a tree in that direction. In terms of impulsiveness, Boruto is the same as Naruto. Haha. It's all Sasuke's fault. Can't you just get to the point? Why do you want to praise first and then criticize? Sarada is also not sincere. She said she didn't care whether Sasuke came back or not before, but now she can't wait to follow him closely. It seems that she is also observing Boruto. Oh. The Rasengan that Boruto just threw out actually has a striking effect. I don't think you've ever seen Naruto throw a Rasengan. It's not a Rasenshuriken, so this is a new way that Boruto came up with it by accident. At dusk, Boruto was walking on the street with a sulky mouth, and then he happened to meet Fangsuke, the leader of the scientific research team, and invited him to visit the Scientific Research Institute in Konoha. Along the way, Boruto complained to Fangsuke, as if he wanted to pour out all his frustrations. Fangsuke listened quietly without getting bored, and then gave his own solution after arriving at the institute. I see. That sounds really bad. Fortunately, I have a tool to solve your problem, calmly and flexibly. With just a little effort, you can get infinite results. While talking, the two passed by an inspection room and looked at the ninjas performing ninjutsu with scientific ninja tools in the isolated rooms. Boruto immediately showed an eye-opening expression. Chapter 652. Then Fangsu took Boruto to another room, and he stretched his hand behind his back to Boruto's eyes. In his palm, a Rasengan was spinning steadily. This is what the next generation of ninjas should look like. What do you think? Fangsu dispersed the Rasengan in his hand and handed a brand new scientific ninja tool to Boruto. Come on, Master Boruto, choose the ultimate move that suits you best. Although I have seen it before, it is still shocking to see it again. Various ninjutsu can be performed so easily. When he showed the Rasengan, I really felt that the times have changed. No matter how reluctant I am to admit it, under this technology, I will only work hard. Compared with this technology, the results achieved are really too different. Technical research also requires accumulation from generation to generation, but the benefits will be wider after the results are achieved. So what is the purpose of this Fangsuke, and why did he lure Boruto to use this scientific ninja tool? Could it be that this ninja tool hides some unknown backdoors, and this Fangsuke intends to use this ninja tool to control Boruto, and then use him to deal with Naruto? No matter what, it is impossible for Boruto to have fighting power comparable to Naruto simply through a scientific ninja tool. The strength that surpasses the level of Kage should not be so cheap. By the way, the enemy of this story should be the two people who fought against Sasuke at the beginning. Maybe this Fangsuke is a pawn of those two people. Boruto, who was still hesitant, accidentally saw Naruto's head on the Hokage rock on his way home, and immediately made a plan. So the next day, Boruto went to Sasuke to show him a normal-sized Rasengan. Sasuke noticed the device on his right wrist at a glance, but pretended not to know. It's only been 1 day, and you can do this. How? I'm different from my stinky dad in terms of talent. Boruto looked proud, and Sasuke said expressionlessly, indeed, you are different from Naruto. I had hoped it wasn't the case. Boruto didn't understand what Sasuke said, but didn't care. He directly asked you if he was qualified. Sasuke was silent for a moment, turned his back to Boruto. Okay. I'll accept you as my disciple. You still used it. It's really for victory, using everything you can use. The achievements achieved with this kind of thing are impossible to get Naruto's achievements. The blogger is so big, cheating, and you can still say such a big words. But why didn't you expose the bloggers? It depends on how Sasuke's teaching style is. Anyway, he will definitely not let him rely on this scientific ninja. It's just a little talented. Compared with them, in this case, they don't work hard to train, but they rely on scientific ninja things. If he didn't look like Naruto, Sasuke would doubt whether the boy was Naruto's son. Everyone makes mistakes. Isn't it the teacher's responsibility to guide students on the right path? Besides, we can't judge future things with our current views. After all, the world is always moving forward and developing. Itachi was very tolerant. Anyway, as long as he could see Sasuke doing the right thing in the future, he would feel very satisfied. On the other side, looking at Boruto's actions on the sky, Naruto frowned deeply. Why is it like this? Is he satisfied with using that thing to perform the Rasengan? Naruto didn't understand. What was there to be proud of in this kind of ninjutsu that didn't rely on his own efforts? Jiraiya held a similar idea to Itachi. He neither agreed nor opposed the emergence of scientific ninja tools. After all, they were invented, which meant that there was room for the application of these things in the future. Don't think too much. The child is a little serious, but judging from his concern for his sister, his nature is not bad. I believe Sasuke will teach him well. After that, Sasuke came to Konohamaru's house and told Konohamaru that he accepted Boruto as his disciple. Special, you came here just to tell me this. Konohamaru was a little slow to react. Sasuke said in a cold but polite tone, well, after all, he is your subordinate, so I have to say hello. Thank you very much. Facing Sasuke's surprised eyes, Konohamaru explained, Boruto admires you very much, which is exactly the opposite of his attitude towards his father. It must be because he feels that the 7th Hokage does not recognize him and always treats him as a child, so he has a rebellious mentality. This is probably the first time Boruto has been so motivated. Anyway, I'll leave it to you. No, I have no right to say anything about educating children. Sasuke, who was about to leave, suddenly stopped and said to Konohamaru with his back to him, thank you for your care, Sarada. Wow. What's wrong with this Sasuke? He is so worldly wise. And he is very self-aware. He knows that he has treated his daughter badly. Sasuke has been busy outside for the sake of the safety of the ninja world and has neglected his daughter. In comparison, Naruto, who doesn't know what he is busy with, neglects his family. It's simply unreasonable. You can't say that about Naruto. Just because Sasuke is investigating the matter of Kaguya doesn't mean that Naruto doesn't have to do anything. Anyway, as long as he doesn't explain clearly why he, a Hokage, needs to do such a trivial thing as escorting the elderly, he will not be able to take off the hat of neglecting his family. At night, sitting in front of the campfire, Boruto suddenly said to Sasuke, hey, tell me about my father. Sasuke glanced at him and answered without thinking, when he was a child, he kept shouting that he wanted to become a Hokage. He was an absolute loser and very stubborn. However, Boruto was not interested in this at all and said bluntly that he wanted to know his father's weakness. Hearing this, Sasuke calmed down and said seriously, Chapter 653. Listen. He has weaknesses all over his body, he is totally useless, but he relied on his own strength to improve bit by bit, and finally became the Hokage. You don't need to know the Naruto now, but you need to know the Naruto who has become who he is along the way. As a result, Sasuke's words did not touch Boruto, but made him feel confused. What is this? A familiar scene. Naruto and Sasuke's children both learned about their fathers through the mouths of each other's fathers. The way of introduction is also poor, not much. First belittle each other, then express recognition, worthy of being two people who have been entangled for half a lifetime. This kind of verbal introduction should be difficult for a new age ninja like Boruto to understand. It is already difficult to empathize with each other, let alone let him understand Naruto's spirit under completely different living conditions. Ignoring the comments of the barrage, Naruto was immediately furious when he heard Sasuke on the sky screen say that he was full of weaknesses and completely useless. Damn it. Sasuke, is this how he slanders me behind my back? You only listen to half of what others say. He seems to be recognizing your efforts and persistence. Jiraiya looked at him speechlessly, but Naruto didn't want to appreciate it at all. Anyway, I just feel like he's laughing at me. It's a new day again. Looking at Sarada, who is getting ready to go out, Sakura is behind her, pumping her fist to cheer her up. Keep working hard today, good luck. Seeing her mother so energetic, Sarada teases her for being so happy to see Sasuke, and then when Sakura shyly denies it, she smiles brightly and sets off to meet up with her teammates. As usual, they meet at the old place in the center of the commercial street. When Sarada arrives, Boruto is already waiting there. After a casual greeting, Sarada asks Boruto what his plans are after becoming her father's apprentice. When she learns that he still regards Naruto as an imaginary enemy, Sarada says helplessly that what they have to do now is to pass the Chunin exam. Boruto doesn't deny this, shows his Chunin exam application, and says that his recent training is also working hard for this. Sarada heaved a sigh of relief upon seeing this, and also took out her own Chunin exam application form. At this time, Mitsuki appeared silently beside the two of them, also holding the application form in his hand and joined the conversation between the two. Compared to Naruto's family, Sasuke's family has a better atmosphere, really. Okay, don't criticize Naruto for this anymore, let's see how Naruto can resolve the child's heart knot. That's right. So many powerful enemies have been overcome, There is no reason to fall on such trivial family matters, right? Since the application form has to be submitted, the Chunin exam is very close. How much training can Boruto receive next? With his level of mastering the Rasengan in a few days, it should be no problem for him to learn a few new ninjutsu, but I think Sasuke should not waste his energy on this. After all, the problem of the scientific ninja tool has not been solved yet. It was night, on a coast dotted with low hills, broken rocks and rubble were everywhere, emitting hot smoke and dust, and the Eight Tails opened its arms and was nailed to a boulder along with its 8 tails by red chakra blades. I didn't expect that chakra would be dispersed in this way. Sitting on Kinshiki's shoulder, the man in white with horns on his head and a light veil on his head said calmly while looking at the 8 tails. The sacred tree has become 9-tailed beasts. There is no trace of Kaguya-hime in the world, and the creatures on this planet have obtained knowledge that they should not have. The whole person floated in the air, and Kinshiki summarized the current situation he had investigated. At this time, the 8 tails raised its head with difficulty and shot a tailed beast ball at the two people. Facing such an attack, the man in white smiled contemptuously, raised his hand calmly, and a red samsara eye appeared in his palm, and then the tailed beast ball disappeared in the palm of the man in white at a speed visible to the naked eye. It seems that we can only collect them one by one. As he said, the man in white stretched out his other hand to the 8 tails, and a red samsara eye also appeared in his palm, and then a black chakra ball larger than the tailed beast ball just now was instantly generated, blasting towards the 8 tails and blasting a huge pit into which seawater flowed back. Kinshiki grabbed Killer Bee's head with one hand and lifted it up. The man in white pressed his abdomen to extract chakra. After a while, 4 black pills were condensed. Is that all? Leaving Killer Bee behind and letting it sink into the sea, Kinshiki said to the slightly dissatisfied man in white, Lord Momoshiki, there is a stronger chakra reaction in the east. That should be the maximum chakra we are looking for. Hiss. They went straight to the 8 tails. And it seems that they defeated the 8 tails with an almost overwhelming advantage. What on earth are these two guys trying to do? The divine tree turned into 9-tailed beasts? Isn't it the 10 tails? What is the divine tree? From listening to their conversation, it seems that they are planning to attack the tailed beasts again. It's endless, right? Oh my god. Samsara eye. It's the samsara eye, right? Although it grows on the palm of the hand, it's still red. Ah. Such a big tailed beast ball was absorbed just like that, and it became even bigger and hit it back directly. It looks a bit like the dark release. Sure enough, now I don't find it strange to see someone who can absorb ninjutsu anymore. Did the 8 tails get pulled out directly? Could those black balls be the 8 tails? It should be just the chakra that was pulled out? Ah, maybe not, but did the 8 tails Jinchuriki just lose? After transforming into a tailed beast, he didn't even have the strength to resist. As expected, he is a member of Kaguya's clan who was involved in the destruction of the world. His strength is really not simple. It's a pity that there is no specific battle scene, otherwise we can combine their previous battle with Sasuke to evaluate their strength. Asshole. The Raikage smashed another table habitually, and then ordered Mabu in a hoarse voice, send someone to check the details of these two guys. No matter how small the clues are, they must be collected for me. How dare they do this to my brother? If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelist. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 654. Killer Bee, who was rapping in Yunlai Gorge, looked at himself who was easily defeated on the sky, and was not affected at all, and continued to rap in the same lame way. Easily strengthening ninjutsu is cheating. We are not opponents, we must work hard. Only you can rap here when you see that your life and death are uncertain. The voice of 8 tails came from his mind. Killer Bee immediately restrained the unseriousness on his face and asked in a deep voice, Little 8, what do you think of these people's methods? Sorry, although our tailed beasts are indeed separated from the 10 tails, it does not mean that we have the memory of the 10 tails. Regarding Kaguya, the old man's 6 paths only mention 1 or 2 sentences, and he can't provide any information in this regard. After hearing such an answer, Killer Bee didn't bother to think about this problem. He believed that his eldest brother would handle the matter well. After all, when it comes to the issue of the tailed beasts, no one in the 5 major ninja villages can stay out of it. In the forest, A shuriken drew an arc trajectory and hide a wooden target on the side. Amid Boruto's smug laughter, Sasuke commented expressionlessly, "It seems that you have mastered some turning skills. The next one is over there." Seeing Sasuke pointing at a wooden target with a larger offset angle, Boruto immediately expressed doubts. Sasuke did not speak, but directly threw two shurikens, which collided in the air and changed direction to hit the target. "Think for yourself, don't always think about getting the answer directly." Facing Sasuke's ruthless preaching, Boruto pouted and looked unconvinced, but he had no way to refute and could only sulk by himself. In the evening, Boruto sat at the desk in his room, took out the scientific ninja tool that he had not planned to use, and subconsciously remembered what Fang Zhu had said to him before: "You will definitely win, Boruto. Don't worry, if you encounter difficulties, there are scientific ninja tools to help you, just rest assured." Tomorrow is the Chunin exam. Thinking of this, Boruto somehow put the scientific ninja tool on his wrist. Uchiha's Shuriken Jutsu. This move has very limited application, it's better to teach some practical ninjutsu. Didn't Boruto say that he has mastered wind style, lightning style and water style? Looking at his flamboyant personality, I don't know if he has a solid foundation. It's okay to use Uchiha's Shuriken Jutsu to test the waters first. When did Uchiha's Shuriken Jutsu become a foundation? This thing is difficult, isn't it? Besides, Uchiha's Shuriken Jutsu, how can it be small in application? You guys are imagining the scale of the battle to be at the level of Kage. At the Junin or even Chunin stage, the use of shuriken is the most important means of combat. After all, not everyone has the recovery ability of Naruto. Though it's so obvious that people like to take shortcuts, but it's no wonder. Who likes to encounter unnecessary difficulties when they can complete something easily? Taking shortcuts is fine, but violating the rules is 100% wrong. What on earth is he thinking? Does he think he can hide the examiner's sight and secretly use that scientific ninja tool during the exam? We don't know the content of the exam yet, but when the individual battle comes, Naruto will be there. If he uses it with a fluke mentality, he will definitely be discovered. The next day, the Junin from various countries came to the venue of the first exam. It was a desert area with two black cubes placed around it. There was no one around. Standing in front of the candidates, Shikamaru looked at his lazy son helplessly, announced the official start of the exam, and then Sony stepped forward to introduce the rules of the first exam. The black cloth outside the two black cubes was torn off, revealing two platforms with an X painted inside. Sony gestured to the candidates and explained, "Okay, now let's start the first test. Each team of 3 people choose the answer you think is correct and stand on it. Then the question is this." The test questions were displayed on the big screen behind him. The questions involved the content of a novel. However, since most people present had not read the novel, they could only choose the answer they thought was correct based on their intuition. Although Sarada had read the novel, she also didn't know the answer to the question, so she looked at Boruto and asked, "Boruto, what do you think my father would choose?" "He should choose X. He doesn't look like a traditional person." Boruto replied with a smile, so Sarada chose option and said that she would choose a different path from her father and become Hokage. Seeing that everyone had made their choices, Sony continued, "Now that everyone has decided, those who answered the wrong people, that is, people who are blackened, will lose their qualifications." No one understood what Sony meant. Sony smiled and said that everyone would understand, and then pointed to the big screen. "The correct answer is, the first exam is not a written exam. The one for collecting intelligence. After all, it has been going on for so many years, it is normal to change the format." It's okay to change the format, but isn't this question a bit too frivolous? If you use a novel to make questions, won't those who haven't read it just guess? There is an honest man here. Let's isolate him together. You can figure out that the exam content can't be that simple. Look at Sai's smiling expression. Anyone with a little observation should pay attention. Sarada really goes against Sasuke in everything. If you want to be Hokage, this alone is not enough. This is good, at least you won't have to choose difficult ones, right? Accompanied by a quick flash, the screen showed 2 answers, an X. At the moment when the answers appeared, the ground beneath everyone's feet suddenly cracked, and everyone fell into the deep pit without reacting. The bottom of both sides was a connected ink pool filled with ink. Thinking that he had made the wrong choice, Boruto looked at the ink pool below him with reluctance, and did not make any rescue actions. However, Sarada noticed that the candidate opposite him had also fallen down. Combined with Sai's words just now and the ink pool below, she instantly understood the purpose of this test, so Sarada threw a rope to tie Boruto up, and Mitsuki, who also reacted, stretched out his arms to grab Sarada and the stone wall, and the three members of the team were suspended in the air without falling into the ink pool. Chapter 655. At the same time, Tsunagakure's Shiki controlled sand iron to float in the air with two teammates, and Kumagakure's Yoru even stayed above the ground by blowing bubbles. Shikide fixed himself with a kunai and then pulled two teammates with his shadow. The other teams also showed their magical powers to avoid being stained black. Both sides fell down. I see, that's what it means. What? How did you understand? If you still don't understand it when it's so obvious, then don't think about becoming a chunin in the short term. Since both answers will fall down, it means that the question itself is meaningless. The key point is what Sai said just now. People who are stained black will lose their qualifications. This is the key to passing this exam. This exam is quite interesting. Whether it's the instant reaction to the purpose of the exam or the unconscious avoidance of falling into the ink pool, you can immediately see some of the qualities of the candidates. The black-covered boy from Sand Village, I thought it was a bug just now, but it turns out he was using sand iron. The performance of Kumagakure is also very impressive. Judging from their position, they should have reacted the moment the ground cracked, and they hardly fell much. The Nuino Shikacho team performed well, but Boruto's performance was very bad. He gave up almost as soon as he fell. It has always been smooth sailing before, and you have never experienced such an imminent moment. With this level of willpower, it is difficult to go far even if you are talented. Fortunately, the two teammates reacted quickly. This is the meaning of the team. Through teammates to make up for your own shortcomings, thereby increasing the success rate of the mission. Well, am I the only one who thinks there is a problem? Others are fine, but Mitsuki. According to the strength this guy has shown before, he is not at the level of Kage, but at least he has the level of Jonin. If he is allowed to take the Chunin exam, won't Boruto be able to pass it easily? Naruto should know about this, so he may have made an agreement with Mitsuki beforehand. Otherwise, letting Boruto pass the exam with a score that does not match his level would be harming him. What level he has will be clear in the individual battle. Of course, the premise is that the scientific ninja tool is not used. Let's not talk about how other people view this plot, but I know blushed at this time. For no other reason, the little boy Jingzan is the representative of the Yamanaka clan of the Ino Shikacho combination, plus the yellow hair. It is self-evident whose child it is, and naturally he can deduce what the relationship between him and Sai is. It turned out to be that Sai, oh, I'm so sorry, I know, swayed from side to side with an embarrassed look on her face. And Sai, who also deduced this relationship, did not have many thoughts because he had not yet regained his feelings. So that's it, there is no right or wrong in this question, there is no meaning. Shiki understood the content of the test belatedly, and Sarada continued, the question was nonsense from the beginning. People who are stained black will lose their qualifications, that is, as long as they don't turn black. Shikide followed up to explain, and Jingzan looked annoyed. This kind of embarrassing and boring test question is really my father's style. After that, everyone returned to the ground, and Sai still had a smiling expression, explaining, if you see the ink pool below and believe that you have made the wrong choice, if you give up and let yourself be stained with ink, you will not be qualified to become a chunin. In the first exam, the real choice is to make one of two choices when you are forced into a desperate situation. Giving up or not giving up, not falling into the pool of ink is the right choice. Sai's words were like torture, making Boruto feel extremely ashamed. Fortunately, everyone was listening to Sai's speech at this time. Only a proctor who was particularly concerned about Boruto noticed his expression and reported the situation to someone through the headset. He passed, but it seems that he has no chance to use it this time. Tisk tisk, every word is poking Boruto's heart. Now his toes must be digging the ground. He talks louder than anyone else, but when it comes to the real thing, he performs worse than anyone else. Boruto is probably not the kind of player who can perform on the spot. He usually performs well, but he loses his chain when it comes to important occasions. It's just the opposite of Naruto. The father and son are at the same extreme. If Naruto were to take this exam, I can imagine how he would react. He would definitely create a string of shadow clones to use as ropes. The person who leaked the information should be Fangsuk's subordinate. Why does he want Naruto to use scientific ninja tools so much? Well, it is known that the use of scientific ninja tools is expressly prohibited in this Chunin exam. If Naruto, the son of the Hokage, is exposed in public, Naruto's reputation will definitely be affected. So, is this a plan designed by Naruto's political enemies to attack Naruto? PFFT. Such an incompatible topic suddenly comes up. I always feel that it is strange to have something to do with Naruto and politics. This is a bit of a wild idea. Unless someone like Danzo who wants to be Hokage appears in Konoha, who would have nothing better to do than to attack the village leader. In the Hokage's office, Shikamaru moved a stack of documents to Naruto's desk and informed Boruto that they had passed the exam. Hearing this, Naruto's expression was a little tangled, and Shikamaru also showed a helpless expression. Are you still thinking about the previous things? This is not something I should say, but maybe you should give him some encouragement. The scene changed. Boruto stayed in his room, lying on the bed, looking at the scientific ninja tool on his wrist, and was speechless for a long time. At this time, a message sound came from the computer screen. Boruto curiously went forward to check and found that it was a congratulatory email, and the sender was his father. Although his eyes were shining, Boruto pretended to be disgusted and pouted his lips and said, "Email." He didn't even send a shadow clone, bastard ad. Shikamaru has a lot of work to do, and he is also responsible for mediating the relationship between the Hokage and his son. Alice, why did Naruto, who was fearless and always brave, become so indecisive when it came to his son? Boruto is just as insincere. That's why the two father and son can never communicate properly. After being encouraged, Boruto continued to train Sasuke, but was always stuck in the operation of the shuriken turning at a large angle. As Sasuke sighed, Boruto shouted at him angrily, "Everyone knows that shuriken is Sarada's specialty. After all, she is the daughter of Uncle Sasuke and a member of the Uchiha clan." "Boruto, according to your logic," Sasuke said, and conjured up 8 shadow clones, "this move should also be your specialty." Chapter 656. "Probably, this is my father's best move, right?" Boruto replied uncomfortably, but Sasuke had no intention of considering his mood at all, and pointed out directly, "Don't make excuses anymore, or wait until you can create more than 1,000 shadow clones like Naruto, then come and refute me." "I know," Boruto replied reluctantly. Boruto has another problem. When he encounters trouble, he doesn't look for the reasons from himself, but habitually makes excuses. Compared to his peers, Boruto is indeed a little childish. Fortunately, the situation will be stable in the future. Otherwise, with his personality, it is unknown whether he can live to adulthood. He has the blood of the Uzumaki clan, and the Hyuga is also one of the famous families in the ninja world. Logically speaking, shadow clones, a ninjutsu that is only limited by the amount of chakra, should indeed be something Boruto is good at. The reason why he is so hesitant is definitely because he has not trained seriously in normal times. The Uzumaki clan has a lot of chakra, but not everyone has the terrifying amount of chakra like Naruto. Sasuke is using him as a standard, which is too difficult for Boruto. I think Sasuke's teaching is good. The number of shadow clones is not the key. The key is to let Boruto not always make excuses. Besides, it's not a bad thing to have a lofty goal. 3 days passed like this, and Boruto ushered in the second Chunin exam. With the idea of letting everyone see how powerful he is, Boruto tried his best to perform the shadow clone technique, but he could only create 4 before reaching the limit. The second exam is to grab the flag. You need to defend your own flag while attacking the enemy camp. It is a 3-on-3 offensive and defensive battle. Therefore, half of the teams will be eliminated in this exam. With Tenten's narration, the second exam officially began. Each team determined their own defense and offensive arrangements according to their own habits and abilities, and thus launched a series of fierce offensive and defensive battles. Not long after, Konoha's new Ino Shikajo team, Tsunagakure's Shiki team, and Kumagakure's Yoru team all stood out and won the game, leaving only Boruto's team and the Kurigakure triplets team still fighting. Damn. Seeing Boruto so guilty just now, I thought he was really not good at shadow clones, but he can still create 4. At this age, 4 is actually not bad. That's right, after all, the original intention of the shadow clone is not to let people play human wave tactics, but to make excellent cooperation in battle. This is the correct way to use it. Both defense and offense must be considered, which attaches great importance to the ability to collect and deploy intelligence. Of course, if there is a person who can fight with one person, the three freaks of Kumagakure, just ignore what I said. The guy called Shiki from Tsunagakure has this kind of performance. His ability is actually a combination of sand iron and puppets, which directly overcomes the difficulty of controlling puppets and the problem of easy damage. Coupled with the flow and change of sand iron, he is definitely the leader of the new generation of Kumagakure in the future. The performance of these three little guys from Kumagakure is also remarkable, especially the one called Yuru, who seems to have solved the opponent without much real effort. One team from Konoha, Tsunagakure and Kumagakure each advanced. Only Konoha and Kurigakure are left to compete for the last spot, but Konoha is Boruto's team, so Kurigakure has little hope of qualifying. Scientific ninja tools, huh? Don't be too hasty to draw conclusions. Boruto might not use them, if Mitsuki is a little more serious. That's still very unfair. A Jonin who is at least to the level of a Jonin and can use Sage Mode. It's ridiculous. When you encounter enemies in the future, do you still expect others to treat you fairly, everyone? They are of similar age. If you can't beat them, don't blame them for being too strong. Just go back and train hard. Because it's an exam, the use of scientific ninja tools is restricted, but when it comes to the mission, there are no restrictions. Maybe everyone will have one by then. After all, Konoha will definitely use this thing to study. According to the discussion of the three before the game, Mitsuki and Sarada will be responsible for attacking the enemy camp, and Boruto will be the only one to guard his own flag. Mitsuki is a little worried about this, but he still follows this arrangement at Boruto's insistence. Fortunately, Boruto is not just showing off. Relying on his keen perception, Boruto was the first to discover the enemy hiding in the dark, and forced all three opponents out with just Kune. Hey, triplets, the sneak attack failed. Boruto and his four shadow clones stood in front of the three opponents and said proudly, "See, 5 against 3. It's obvious which side has the advantage." Hearing this, the triplets looked at each other, then smiled and cast shadow clones at the same time. Although each person only cloned 2, the 3 of them added up to a full 9. Then, in Boruto's dumbfounded expression, the 9 people drew their ninja swords at the same time. Now, which side do you think has the advantage? The Kurigakure team actually used this desperate tactic, not defending their own positions, and directly attacking with all their strength. Boruto and his team obviously didn't guess the enemy's mind, so the situation suddenly became a big disadvantage. Are you kidding me? Even if Mitsuki's strength is restricted, it is safest to arrange him to guard the house. With Boruto's personality, attacking is more suitable for him. Don't talk about this assumption. Who can't reverse the problem based on the results? If the 3 Kurigakure team were to guard the house now, and after dealing with the 2 attackers, they would concentrate their strength to deal with the remaining 1, Boruto and his team would also be at a disadvantage. Boruto, another character problem has been exposed. He gets carried away too easily. When he is in an advantageous position, he is arrogant. When he encounters a little difficulty, he loses his composure. Even among Jonin, this kind of performance is not qualified. Now he is taking part in the Chunin exam, which is completely forced, just to make up the numbers. Boruto's screams of pain came from the headset. Mitsuki asked Sarada to continue moving forward, while he quickly returned to help Boruto. In his own position, Boruto's shadow clones were defeated one after another, and his real body was knocked to the ground by the opponent. He could only watch the triplets rush past him and rush towards the flag. Seeing that his own flag was about to fall into the hands of the opponent, Boruto's mind quickly flashed back to his poor performance in the first game, his teammates' eager expectations, and Naruto's congratulatory email. He immediately gritted his teeth and used the scientific ninja tools to perform the Great Waterfall technique, which broke through the enemy's formation and interrupted their actions. Chapter 657. After taking this step, Boruto simply went all out, with his right hand behind his back, jumping high, and at an angle that no one could see. He used the lightning release prepared in the scientific ninja tool into the water and knocked down all the targets on the rooftop. After dealing with the enemy, Boruto quickly informed his teammates of the situation. On the other side, Sarada came to the enemy's position. A large number of identical flags covered the entire rooftop. However, with the Sharingan's ability to see through illusions, Sarada easily broke the illusion and raised the real flag. In the background, the monitoring recorded the actions of Boruto's team in real time. Among them, Boruto used the water escape without making a seal, which attracted Tenten's attention. Noticing her attention, the sunglasses man who was suspected to be Fang Zhu's subordinate suddenly showed a nervous look on his face. Fortunately, Tenten did not investigate further, thinking that Boruto had a solid foundation and exposed this. The relieved man in sunglasses came out of the room and reported the situation truthfully. As expected, Fang Zhu's voice came from the other side of the headset. After confirming that he had recorded everything, he ended the conversation. Well, I didn't see how Boruto and his team arranged before the game, but judging from Mitsuki's performance, this guy doesn't have any tactical level. He just relied on his strength. You know shit. It was Mitsuki who deliberately used this method to keep me from participating in the battle. Look how natural the performance was, and he fooled everyone. Funny, no, didn't Boruto say before that he had learned wind escape, lightning escape, and water escape? Use them. 5 people may not be unable to beat 9 people. The battle was too tense, and some of them didn't react. You also know that during the Shin'an period what are these missions, not to mention the future, maybe this is his first real fight. Finally, he used it. If he loses, it will not only be embarrassing, but also disappoint the expectations of his teammates and Naruto. Based on Boruto's competitive personality and his habit of taking shortcuts, it is almost certain that he will use scientific ninja tools when he cannot deal with the enemy. Madarumi wiped her lips, turned her head to look at Queen beside her, and joked, "Can we use this incident to ask Konoha to compensate for treating our village's Shin'an like this?" And it was the Hokage's son who did it himself. Ahem. Queen suppressed his laughter and replied in a serious tone, "I think we can give it a try. It would be best if the Hokage's son apologized to us in person." The examiner of the second exam was Zioli's teammate named Yongtian. To be an examiner of the Chunin exam, he must be at least a special Jonin. He didn't even notice that Boruto cheated. His eyesight is not good. I want to ask, how to see when Boruto hides his hands behind his back? Not everyone has the Byakugan that can peek into the bathhouse like Hinata. The description of peeping into the bathhouse is redundant. It's mainly because of the trust in Naruto. Who would have thought that the Hokage's son would take the lead in cheating? Tenten, who was named, swung the nunchaku in his hand with an unhappy look on his face. Damn it. It's all Naruto's fault for not teaching the child well. I was ridiculed by others. When he comes back, I must make him compensate me. After the game, Sarada expressed her expectations for the third game, but Boruto was absent-minded. At the same time, Naruto in the Hokage's office was also sitting on pins and needles, walking back and forth with a look of annoyance, until footsteps were heard outside the door. Naruto hurriedly sat back in his chair and pretended to be working seriously. Shikamaru pushed the door open and walked in. He saw through Naruto's disguise at a glance. He didn't waste any more time talking to him. He directly informed Boruto and the others of the test results and turned around and left. "Did you come here just to talk about this?" Naruto couldn't help asking. Shikamaru smiled and replied, "Because this is very important. By the way, Shikide and the others have also passed. Maybe we can see your son and my son fighting next." After watching Shikamaru walk out of the office, Naruto jumped up from his chair excitedly. Naruto, can't you be more honest? It's just caring about your son. It's not something shameful. Why do you have to hide it like this? Ha. I see the shadow of his youth in Naruto in this state. Shikamaru has an expression of "I don't know what you are thinking" on his face. With Naruto scheming, he still wants to hide his thoughts in front of a smart man like him. Damn it. It's all the fault of that yellow-haired kid. I'm no longer myself. Naruto looked disgusted, and Jiraiya, seeing this, he smiled and shook his head. You can naturally say this feeling now, but when you reach that age, you will probably feel the same way. Hearing this, Naruto curled his lips in disdain and muttered, "You speak as if you know a lot. You are still alone at such an old age, and you don't even have a wife. You think I can't hear you, right?" Jiraiya hit Naruto's head fiercely, and then said with his nose turned up, "If Tsunade hadn't been embarrassed, she would have been taken down by me long ago after she saw the sky curtain where I died heroically. Oh, then when we return to the village, do you dare to confess to Tsunade?" Naruto touched his head and showed a doubtful look. After being provoked by him, Jiraiya, although he was completely unsure, still pretended to be confident and said, "Of course, no problem. On the day of my wedding, the job of collecting the gift money will be handed over to you." The scene changed. In the intelligence interpretation room, a strange-shaped device was placed in the center of the room, and a large amount of data was projected in the air in a flowing state. At this time, Sasuke was standing in front of the device waiting for the interpretation of the intelligence, but after Naruto, who came later, said that the interpretation work would continue for a while, Sasuke gave up the idea of staying and turned around to leave. Sasuke, I heard you were training him. Naruto suddenly spoke, causing Sasuke to stop subconsciously. After explaining that he heard it from Konohamaru, Naruto talked about the topic they had discussed before. Maybe you were right. The essence of ninjas will not change, no matter how the times change. I have always believed in this. Sasuke gave his attitude, and then heard Naruto mention Sarada's exam. Looking at Sasuke's expressionless face, Naruto smiled and said, "Your daughter passed the exam, can't you show a little happiness?" Chapter 658. I knew it from the beginning, what's there to be happy about? After giving this answer, Sasuke left without looking back, leaving Naruto with a face full of "I admire you." In the future, Sasuke, besides traveling around the ninja world to investigate the matter of Kaguya, has no specific job in Konoha. He wanders around doing nothing all day. Isn't he waiting for the interpretation of the intelligence? He even came to check in person, which shows that he is very dedicated. Please, are you devils? He has been working hard outside for so long, and he can't let him rest when he returns to the village. Besides, he is also responsible for training the son of the Hokage. Because of Boruto's achievements, Naruto has a different opinion of him, but if he knows that this achievement was obtained by cheating with scientific ninja tools, I wonder what expression he will show. Did someone guess before that Fangsuke was a pawn of someone who wanted to cheat with scientific ninja tools? Did this make Naruto lose face in front of the whole ninja world? If this is true, then Sasuke is the biggest suspect. Sasuke knows everything, but he didn't tell Naruto anything. If he didn't know that they have a close relationship, this association would make perfect sense. Sasuke didn't expose Boruto's use of scientific ninja tools, wouldn't it be to ensure that his daughter can pass the exam smoothly? Funny, I think with Sasuke's attitude towards work, he probably won't care about the competition. At dusk, Boruto just returned home and immediately received congratulations from Hinata and Aoi. Boruto pretended to be calm about this, but he didn't dare to face them in his heart, so he found an excuse to hide in the room and avoid the two. Lying on the bed, Boruto stared at the scientific ninja tool on his wrist and sighed deeply. It was not until there was a knock on the door that Boruto, who was startled, became alert instantly. He quickly pulled down his sleeves to cover the scientific ninja tool and shouted, "Who is it?" Under Boruto's surprised eyes, Naruto pushed the door open and walked in. He avoided Boruto's gaze with a shy look, scratched his face and hesitated to speak. I heard that you passed the second exam. Watching him pick up the photo of the two of them on the table, in a strange silence, the originally nervous Boruto showed a gloomy expression, grabbed the sleeve of his right hand, and said, "I'm going to take a photo of you." He whispered, "Is there something wrong? If not, go out." Boruto's behavior is very contradictory. He knows he shouldn't use scientific ninja tools, but he can't help but use them because he's afraid of not performing well. He doesn't dare to share his joy with others after winning. It's not that serious. He might as well lose honorably from the beginning. It's easy to say. Children of this age will continue to do something even if they know it's wrong in order to maintain their self-esteem, which they don't even know if they can understand. Not to mention Boruto, who has a slightly extreme personality. The root cause is still Naruto. Look, he came in person. Solved. Tisk, talk. Why are you being so shy? Oh my god. Naruto, have you ever stuttered like this when you confessed to a girl? That's your son, why should he be shy? Is it so difficult to praise him? If Boruto has been like this since he was a child, it's no wonder that he cares so much about his father's approval that it has become an exploitable weakness. Ignoring the rejection in Boruto's tone, Naruto praised softly, "You did a good job." After saying this, Naruto put the photo back to its original place. Looking at his back as he turned and left, Boruto couldn't help but ask, "You came here just to say this?" "Well, because this is very important, very important." Naruto turned his head and looked at him, then suddenly remembered something things, turned around and walked in front of Boruto, in his puzzled eyes, stretched out his fist towards him, "Don't lose to Shikode." Looking at the unreserved trust in Naruto's eyes, "Boruto, who didn't dare to raise his hand to fight him, could only force a smile and said, "I won't lose." Although Naruto was puzzled by this, he didn't think much about it. He stretched out his fist and touched Boruto's chest lightly, and said softly, "I will watch." Watching Naruto leave, feeling the touch left on his chest, Boruto suppressed his inner excitement and murmured, "If you just want to say these words, wouldn't it be easier to send an email?" However, this calmness did not last long, and Boruto tightened his clothes on his chest, showing an uncontrollable smile on his face, and even excited to the point of tears overflowing. Stinky Dad. Another after caring for his son for the first time in a long time, Naruto returned to the Hokage's office, holding his jacket from his youth in his hand, looking at the moonlight outside the window with a faint smile on his face. Right, it's a simple sentence, just say it. After Naruto let go, he became normal instantly. I don't know what happened before, but he and his son got into a mutually annoying relationship. Come to think of it, what Boruto wants is also very simple. Just like Sarada was relieved by being poked in the forehead, he was satisfied by being touched on the chest by Naruto. It's amazing, I was so happy that I cried. Naruto, how little you valued this child before. Laughing and crying, in the belly of the god of death, looking at Boruto who was so happy that he rolled into a ball under Naruto's encouragement, Minato smiled with relief. Spend more time with your children, Naruto, talk to them more, don't be shy. In the Pure Land, Kushina supported her chin with both hands, her eyes were both happy and yearning. If mom and dad were still alive, they would definitely encourage you like this, so Naruto, don't let your child down. Naruto was also very moved by the scene on the sky screen, but at the age of 14, it was really difficult for him to take on the role of a father, so he could only deliberately show a disgusted expression and criticize Boruto's behavior. If you are really happy, don't use that ninja tool next time, otherwise I, the 7th Hokage, will be very embarrassed. Then again, I don't think it's a good time to untie the knot between the two, because in this way, Boruto will rely more on scientific ninja tools in order to get Naruto's approval. He has made a mistake once. Before he learns his lesson, no one will think that he will really restrain himself. The development here will not affect anything. Chapter 659. The next day, the circular open-air venue and the circular spectator stand were filled with spectators from all over the ninja world. Since this was the first exam jointly held by the 5 major ninja villages, the other 4 cages who came from afar, accompanied by Naruto, were already seated on the highest stand, quietly waiting for the exam to begin. Along with the warm atmosphere in the venue, the examiner of the 3rd exam, Xiaoli, came out to explain the rules of the competition to the candidates. It was the most classic individual elimination match, where candidates faced off against each other, and the winners continued to advance until the champion of the competition was decided. After the rules were made clear, the names of the players in the first match appeared on the big screen of the venue, with Konoha's Uzumaki Boruto facing Kumagakure's Yoru. Hey! Almost all the 5 Kage have been replaced. Except for Naruto and Gaara, who are both familiar faces, the other 3 are all new faces. Forget about Inoki, after all, he is already over 70 years old, not to mention the future decades later, but the 4th Raikage and the 5th Mizukage are not yet at retirement age. The ninja world has not always been so peaceful. How many Kage can retire peacefully? What I mean is that some of the current 5 Kage have sacrificed, but that's true. Although the 4th war was won, we don't know how much sacrifice they made. Let's not talk about this. I want to ask if anyone knows these 3 new Kages. Isn't this Raikage Deru? As the right-hand man of the 4th Raikage, it is natural for him to become the 5th Raikage. Tsuchikage, like if I'm not mistaken, it should be Inoki's granddaughter Kuratsuchi. Why isn't her father Huang to that Tsuchikage? I don't know the Mizukage. If anyone in Kurigakure knows him, please tell me. No way. Chijiro is such a coward, but he will become the Mizukage in the future. Deru scratched his head, with a look of lack of energy on his face. So troublesome, the Raikage or something. What are you talking about? The Raikage slapped Deru on the back, almost making him vomit blood. No matter what the situation is, since you will become the Raikage in the future, you should show your energy now, and I will arrange your next tasks according to the standards of training the Raikage. Ahoha. Look, old man. I will become the Tsuchikage in the future, so you might as well abdicate and give this position to me, so that you don't have to complain about back pain all day long. Kuratsuchi shouted excitedly. Inoki's face was dark, and he roared at the overjoyed Kuratsuchi. You wish. No matter what the future holds, you are still far from it now. Even if I abdicate, it will be your father who will become the Tsuchikage, not you. In the Mizukage's office, Terumi looked thoughtful and asked Ao beside her, I remember this child, I think his name is Chijiro, the one who became a Chunin not long ago. Yes, and he is the one with the best compatibility among the candidates for the Aoi, but his personality is a little cowardly. Ao explained what he knew. Since he will become the Mizukage in the future, it means that he has something to recommend him. Give him more responsibilities and don't bury his talent. Terumi thought for a while and gave instructions. At this time, Chijiro, who was carrying out a mission with his teammates, had an expression of satisfaction and disbelief on his face after seeing himself become the Mizukage on the sky screen. Me? Mizukage? By the way, Gaara, your hairstyle looks like it was licked by a dog. It's really a bit old-fashioned. Ha ha ha. I didn't realize it until you said it. Now that you mention it, I suddenly remember that among these familiar people who appeared in the future, the men seem to be a bit unkempt. Shikamaru is like this, Sasuke is like this, and Naruto is like this. Sasuke is mainly busy outside so he has no time to take care of his hair. On the contrary, Naruto and Shikamaru are only in their 30s, but their hairlines look very dangerous. Shikamaru's hairline is inherited from his ancestors, and Naruto's hairline is probably just caused by exhaustion. The game officially began. The two sides approached each other at the same time and launched a standard physical battle with ninja swords and kunai. As the weapons collided, a tense verbal battle also followed. After the two sides exchanged attacks for a few times, seeing that they could not gain an advantage with physical skills, Yuru took the lead in changing his offensive. In a close confrontation, he took the opportunity to blow a blue bubble towards Boruto. Because Boruto had studied the opponent's video before the game, he knew that Yuru's bubble had the ability to trap the enemy, so he didn't think much and directly pierced the bubble with a kunai, but he didn't expect the bubble to explode directly, and Boruto was blown away in a mess. Fortunately, the explosion was not strong, and Boruto quickly stood up again, but saw that the field had been occupied by Yuru. A large number of bubbles were placed between the two sides. Yuru smiled triumphantly and controlled the bubbles to approach from all directions, gradually squeezing Boruto's space for movement. Well, both sides are about the same level in terms of physical skills. Next, it depends on their respective ninjutsu and tactical arrangements. No, is there still suspense in this game? No matter what, Boruto has scientific ninja tools to back him up. He will definitely win before he is discovered. The bubbles that explode should be a special ninja tool, not some kind of bloodline limit. Is it a triggered explosion, or a controlled one? It should be the latter. Otherwise, Boruto can break this formation by just throwing a few kunai shuriken. That will test the timing of the controller to launch the explosion, but with so many of them, the advantage is still obvious. Seeing that the footholds around him disappeared one after another, Boruto tried to use shuriken to attack Yuru from a distance to open up the situation, but it was difficult to catch the opportunity for the shuriken to pass through the gap in the bubble. Not only was his offensive easily disintegrated by bursts of explosions, but he himself was blown away and fled everywhere. Several times he almost took the opponent's attack at close range. Damn it! Looking at the approaching bubble again, Boruto reached out and took out the shuriken from his ninja tool bag, but inadvertently remembered Naruto's praise for him before. Looking at Naruto from a distance, Boruto let go of the ordinary shuriken in the ninja tool bag, and instead ejected a mini scroll from the scientific ninja tool and held it tightly. I won't lose here. With this declaration, Boruto threw a green shuriken and successfully passed through Bubble's defense line. Despite this, with the shuriken's turning angle at this time, it was still a long way to hit Yuru, who was almost standing at a 90-degree corner. Chapter 660. Yuru thought the same, so he took a few steps back to make sure the shuriken could not hit him. However, the shuriken, which was originally deflected normally, suddenly accelerated its rotation in the air, and then drew an exaggerated arc to break the bubble on Yoru's mouth, and directly detonated at zero distance to blow him away. After defeating the opponent, the bubbles on the field also disappeared. Boruto deliberately walked in front of Yuru and showed off for a while, and then left the field with a happy face amid the cheers and applause of the audience. Instead of letting those bubbles keep approaching, it's better to use ninjutsu or shuriken to explode all the bubbles. At least there is a chance of winning. Boruto probably doesn't have this awareness. At worst, there are scientific ninja tools to back him up. This is probably what he thinks. This scientific ninja tool is interesting. It actually contains shuriken with ninjutsu effects. The future is really hard to imagine. Uchiha's shuriken technique has been replicated in this way, and the effect looks even better. Although there are still big flaws, if it continues to develop, there will be a day when the profession of ninja will be the industry has really been replaced by this kind of thing. The little brat from Kumagakure is so careless. The bubbles that haven't been blown out of his mouth are so unstable, and he has been showing them to his opponent. HMPH. If it weren't for the cheating of scientific ninja tools, how could the little brat from Konoha be the opponent of our Kumagakure? Boruto is here again. He is very happy as long as he wins, but he will definitely be entangled and fall into mental exhaustion after a while. After that, he will continue to win through scientific ninja tools when the situation is unfavorable. This cycle repeats over and over again, endlessly. How can he be happy with a victory achieved in this way? Naruto became more and more dissatisfied with Boruto. Although Naruto had a slightly improved opinion of Boruto because of the heart-to-heart talk between father and son on the sky curtain just now, he really couldn't accept this behavior of using illegal means to obtain things that did not belong to him. The victory must be upright. Thinking of this, Naruto's mood suddenly became even more unhappy. Looking at his angry expression, Jiraiya felt a little amused. In Jiraiya's opinion, Boruto's behavior seemed serious. After all, it was related to Konoha's face, but considering the future situation, this behavior that was almost harmless could be classified as a child's mischief. Jiraiya still didn't believe it. As Naruto's child, and with Sasuke's teaching, would such a child go astray in his growth path? If so, then let the future Naruto worry about it. After all, even if he can live to that time, he will be over 70 years old, and he can't worry about everything. Jiraiya curled his lips indifferently. After that, I won't go into details about the evaluation of Boruto by each cage. After the first duel, other players also came down one after another and contributed wonderful duels. Soon, the 6 duels in the first round were all completed. The players who qualified for the second round were Boruto, Mitsuki, Sarada and Shikide from Konoha, and Shinki and Araya from Sunagakure. There was no half-time break. After the first round, the game went straight to the 7th match, which happened to be the duel between Boruto and Shikide that Shikamaru and Naruto had mentioned before. Therefore, even Naruto, who pretended to be calm, left his seat nervously and walked to the stands to watch carefully. With the expectations of their parents, Boruto and Shikide started the fight. Both sides started with physical skills. After a few waves of probing, Boruto transformed into a shadow clone to attack. Shikide saw this and immediately used the shadow secret technique to protect himself and directly counterattacked. The Kumagakure team was wiped out. Except for Yuru, the other two are not as good as they used to be. Of course, it's also because the opponents are strong. The future Sunagakure will train ninjas very well. Let's not talk about that Araya whose skills are hard to tell. Shinki's use of sand iron is also very innovative. He actually used ninjutsu to achieve the effect of taijutsu. The main thing is that he has strong control. The level of form change has definitely surpassed that of a Chunin. Both parents are watching, Boruto and Shikide. Wait. The scene just now was too fast. Who is Shikide's mother? It's Temari. Did someone speculate that she also married into Konoha? It turned out to be you, Nara Shikamaru. You kidnapped our Temari-sama. Damn Konoha ninja, you actually married our Sunagakure princess. Woo woo woo. Temari-sama, what's so good about a man who's afraid of trouble? Why are you so excited? In the previous episode about the Chunin exam, didn't these two people create a strange atmosphere? This result was a sign long ago. Temari, who had expected it, covered her forehead and shook her head, sighing as if possessed by Shikamaru and said, "It's so troublesome, this kind of thing doesn't matter." Why doesn't it matter? If you want to be my brother-in-law, you have to at least satisfy me. Kankuro, who was following Temari, interrupted, but he was just talking. Whether it was Temari's own wish or her father's decision, it was not his turn to make the decision. In the Kazukage's office, Luo Xiao leaned back in his chair and thought deeply. Not a family. It's also a good choice. In Konoha, Shikamaru, who was playing chess with his father at home, buried his head in his knees after seeing himself and Temari appear on the sky, and made a dull complaint, "I will be teased by Asuma and others again." What's shameful about this? Men have to marry when they grow up. Shikaku taught Shikamaru while playing chess, and then looked at the sky and sighed, but I didn't expect your vision and luck are so good. This girl looks much better than your mother. Siege tactics failed. Boruto cooperated with a shadow clone, constantly dodging and looking for gaps to get closer, and finally relied on the sacrifice of the shadow clone to get close to the opportunity to hit the soft fist, but unexpectedly, this was just a flaw deliberately made by Shikamaru, in order to let Boruto get close, so that he could catch his real body and the shadow clone together. The shadow was expanded into a circular field. With this change, Shikamaru successfully caught Boruto. Looking at his unwilling struggle, Shikamaru smiled faintly and pulled out the kunai. It's better to give up as soon as possible. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 661. After trying his best to break free, Boruto immediately stopped his useless efforts, sneered and moved his right hand, ejecting 5 mini-scrolls directly from the scientific ninja tools. Instantly, dozens of shadow clones appeared on the field and surrounded Shikamaru. Seeing this, Shikamaru dropped his kunai without a second thought and raised his hands to indicate that he had given up. The cheers of the audience instantly enveloped the entire venue. Bathed in such background sounds, at the back of the audience stand, Fengzu said to the assistant holding the camera beside him with satisfaction, "It's almost our turn to go on stage." The young master used it really well without being exposed. Is Boruto's posture a soft fist? Without the Byakugan, it is true that the Hyuga family's inherited taijutsu cannot be used, but ordinary soft fists can still be learned. Hinata is not a mother in vain. Boruto will have the opportunity to awaken a Byakugan in the future. Even if he awakens, he can't learn the Hyuga family's inherited taijutsu. After all, Hinata is married to someone else. These things are irrelevant. I am more curious about how Shikade's shadow became so big. Did Shikamaru say that the size of the shadow is fixed? Perhaps in the future, the Nara family will further develop the secret technique of shadows. That's great. It has pointed out a clear way for them now. Tisk, Boruto really doesn't care about winning. He even cheats when facing his friends in the same village. Am I the only one curious about how to store ninjutsu such as shadow clone in a scroll? I really don't understand things like scientific ninja tools. In the stands, seeing Shikamaru choose to surrender without hesitation, Shikamaru immediately showed an expression of as expected, and it seems that he had expected this result. On the contrary, Naruto's face darkened after seeing Boruto win in such an unexpected way. Hinata noticed that his face was not right and walked over to express her doubts. Naruto did not answer directly, but whispered to Hinata, "Hinata, use your Byakugan to look at Boruto's right hand." At the same time, in the intelligence interpretation room, the interpretation team completed the interpretation of the scroll and was now reporting the results of their analysis to Sasuke. The ominous premonition has unfortunately come true. After listening to the report, Sasuke murmured in response, and then turned away when the interpreter asked how to deal with it. Let Naruto know about this immediately. Sorry, the exam will be cancelled. It's okay to use other ninjutsu, but for someone like Naruto who uses shadow clones like cattle and horses, it's easy to see that Boruto is wrong. Just now I was looking forward to leaving my seat to watch, and now my good son suddenly did this. Oh, I knew that this exam couldn't be held smoothly, but if it was a normal game, it probably wouldn't be broadcast on the sky screen. Through the Byakugan, Hinata clearly saw the scientific ninja tool on Boruto's right wrist. After listening to her explanation, Naruto couldn't stay any longer and jumped into the venue. What's wrong with Naruto? Daru asked curiously, propping up his head. Kuratsuchi teased, is your son, who you are so proud of, happy enough to play in person? He is such a doting father. On the field, Boruto, who was waving to the audience, noticed Naruto's appearance and immediately ran over with an expectant expression. Dad, did you see that? The finals are coming. Looking at his excited and unrestrained smile and the fist he stretched out, Naruto's eyes were complicated. He slowly raised his hand. In Boruto's shining eyes, he suddenly grabbed his right hand and shook it gently, revealing the scientific ninja tool on his wrist. What is this? In Naruto's unchanging questioning, Boruto's eyes were erratic, his mind was blank, and he couldn't think of any reason. Naruto didn't expect him to answer, and explained loudly to the audience, "This is a scientific ninja tool. Through this, the user can release ninjutsu without consuming his own chakra, and can even use other people's ninjutsu. Because it violates the purpose of training ninjas, it is forbidden to use in the Chunin exam. Now Uzumaki Boruto has violated this ban, so he has lost his qualification to compete. The results of the previous competition will be reviewed separately." In the stands, seeing that the situation is out of control, Fangzhu can't stay any longer, and anxiously said to his assistant, "Tisk. It's been exposed, it seems that we can only act now. This guy Daru, I thought he would be a little more energetic after becoming the Raikage. Why does he look even lazier? Lord Raikage, please think about it for a moment and let Daru become the future Raikage." Is Boruto so happy that he forgot about the scientific ninja tool in his hand and stretched out his right hand so carelessly? It is unrealistic to expect this cheating behavior to go undetected. After all, even the 5 Kage are spectators. This kind of fluke mentality is really unacceptable. Naruto is still responsible, but Konoha is really embarrassed. In Lee's announcement, Boruto was disqualified. On the highest stand, the 5th Mizukage Chijiro was a little unbelievable. "I didn't expect him to do such a thing." Kuratsuchi no longer had the easy hat when he teased before, and said speechlessly, "Alice, I know what it feels like to have an idiot son who does whatever he wants in the name of the cage. You are no longer qualified to be a ninja." Naruto took off Boruto's forward protector and looked at Hinata and Aoi with concern. Put his hand on his shoulder and said softly, "Let's go, we are still taking the exam, we can talk about the lecture later." Hearing this, Boruto immediately showed an angry look and opened Naruto's palm, and asked with a mocking expression, "Wait, lecture? Dad, do you really have the time? If you usually lecture, now it won't be like this." "No way, not only the exam qualification is cancelled, but also the ninja qualification is cancelled. As the Hokage, Naruto really has to lead by example, and it is normal that the result is a bit serious." Boruto is angry and embarrassed. The rules are clearly stated, and Naruto told that assistant in front of him, so he blames others. That's not the problem. What Boruto wants to say is that Naruto doesn't have time to discipline him normally, but when he makes a mistake, he talks about discipline, so he's so angry. Chapter 662. Both father and son have problems. As for who is primarily responsible, we outsiders are not qualified to judge. It was obviously the kid who did something wrong. "Why do you always belittle me?" Naruto lay on the table with a depressed look on his face. "Who made you the father of that child? If the child makes a mistake, the father must be responsible. This is the same as me as a master. If the disciple makes a mistake, I also need to be responsible for the disciple's mistake," Jiraiya sighed and taught. While Naruto was feeling guilty, Fangzhu walked out from the backstage with confidence. "That's it. Boruto couldn't win. We feel very sorry too. 7th generation, I actually wanted to announce it after Boruto won." Completely ignoring the expressions of Naruto and Boruto, Fangzhu devoted himself to this long-planned press conference, loudly promoting the convenience and practicality of scientific ninja tools to the audience. As a result, just halfway through his words, a figure fell from the sky and crashed into the venue, attracting everyone's attention. It was Otsutsuki Kinshiki who had appeared before realizing that the visitor was not friendly. Naruto quickly protected Boruto behind him, and Xiaoli also pulled Shikade back to Naruto's side to confront the visitor. Only Fangzhu, who didn't understand the situation, thought it was someone making trouble, and stepped forward to drive him away. I was wondering how big a conspiracy this assistant had planned, but it turned out to be just this. Just to promote his scientific ninja tools. This guy is obsessed with research, right? Didn't you see how ugly Naruto's face was? He openly defied the leader in the Chunin exam and lost face. He really doesn't take the Hokage as a leader. The IQ of this researcher is definitely fine, but his EQ is usually not very high, but it is rare to have such a low EQ. This luck is really bad. Just when this casual plan was about to succeed, the result was. Trouble is coming. By the way, Boruto's matter will not be left unresolved just because of the enemy's invasion. That depends on how big the next commotion is. If it is a major event that affects the entire ninja world, Boruto's little matter may really be turned over directly. However, Kinshiki had no intention of wasting time. His 5 fingers directly ignited red chakra, and then he hit the ground heavily. In an instant, a strong impact instantly exploded and affected the entire venue. The cracks spread to the surrounding area with Kinshiki as the starting point, and the entire venue collapsed in an instant. In the stands, the ceiling that height the audience was shattered by Sakura's punch, and then Temari blew away all the rubble with wind escape. The two worked together to save the audience who did not have time to escape. On another stand, Gar used sand to hold up countless heavy objects that fell, and other masters also took action, rescuing and evacuating people from the escape passage. The candidates who took the exam also contributed their efforts, doing some work to check for deficiencies and fill in the gaps within their capabilities, but in the chaotic venue, the danger was really unpredictable. Sarada was almost hit by a boulder. Fortunately, Sasuke appeared in time and hugged her out of danger, but was discovered by the sharp-eyed Kinshiki, who directly attacked the two. Hiss. So strong. One blow destroyed the entire venue. I always feel it's hard to match the destructive power of this Kinshiki with his attack. Indeed, this seemingly ordinary blow, who would have expected it to be so powerful, and with his sturdy body, who would have thought that his speed could be comparable to Sasuke. Sakura is so handsome. She is much more reliable when she grows up than when she was a child. The previous battle with Uchiha Shin was also because the dream came true and liberated his spirit. Temari-sama's performance is also very good. Don't give all the credit to Sakura. Haha, the enemy would never have thought that there are two such strong housewives hiding in the audience. All the Kage who came to participate in the Chunin exam have become volunteers. Konoha really has a good plan. Since you are here, just help out. Don't be so stingy. Otsutsuki Momoshiki floated in the air. After opening his Byakugan, veins on his face bulged. Looking at the power of the tailed beast in Naruto's body below, he said to himself, my Byakugan saw that fox. After confirming, Momoshiki flashed behind Naruto and kicked him in the face. Naruto, who didn't react, was kicked away directly, and the wall collapsed and fell into the ground outside the venue. Ignoring Boruto who was frightened and weak, Momoshiki raised his foot and walked towards Naruto. Seeing that his father was about to be in danger, Boruto suppressed his fear and fired all the ninjutsu stored in the scientific ninja tools at him Momoshiki, but was easily absorbed by the samsara in his hand. Boruto's actions aroused Momoshiki's curiosity. Just as he shifted his target to approach Boruto, Naruto, who had recovered, jumped out from behind Momoshiki and punched him hard. After a round of punches and kicks failed, he quickly turned around and took Boruto away from the enemy. This performance, it's definitely the Byakugan. Before, it was the problem of Sharingan and Samsaragan, now it's the Byakugan. How can this Byakugan be so strong that it actually let that Kaguya be involved in the destruction of the world? Don't forget that this guy named Momoshiki also has Samsaragan, although it grows on his hands. So this Otsutsuki is the bloodline of Hyuga spread abroad, and now for some reason, they are also planning to take the Ten Tails. It should be like this, but I always feel that the tone of their previous conversation is a bit wrong, as if they are unfamiliar with the ninja world. Maybe they ran to other continents and returned to the ninja world decades later. Weren't Hyde and others also unfamiliar with the ninja world before? Hyuga bloodline from other continents. Hinata Hayashi murmured, not quite sure of this guess. This is also due to the fact that the family tree is too vague in this regard. Apart from knowing that they have another tribe outside, there is basically no other information, so Hyuga Hayashi really can't figure out why these people have something that looks like the Samsara in their hands. It feels so weird again. It looks like a light kick, but it's so fast that Naruto is caught off guard, and the power is so strong. From the previous situation, Momoshiki's status is higher than that Kinshiki, and it is reasonable to speculate that his strength should also be higher, so it is possible that his strength is a level stronger than Naruto. Chapter 663. It's too absurd that a random person can surpass Naruto, the strongest in the ninja world, in terms of strength. It's impossible for a person born in this world to become the strongest in the ninja world without any performance. There must be a process. It's said that these two people may be from overseas, but if that's the case, doesn't it mean that the overall strength of the overseas continent may also be higher than our ninja continent? By the way, is that thing the Samsara eye? Why does it feel like a chakra absorption device in the shape of a Samsara eye? Before, Hyde and the others also used external objects like air to exert their strength. Maybe this thing that looks like a Samsara eye is really just a special device. Even if it's not their own ability, the effect of this absorption ninjutsu is amazing. After all, it can absorb the tailed beast ball so easily. Momoshiki was about to chase him when a black shadow covered most of his body and stopped his movements. Kinshiki, who was attacking Sasuke, was also controlled. Sasuke took the opportunity to stand with Sarada and Naruto. Feeling the restraint of his body, Momoshiki said boring lightly, and then the Rinnegan in his hand flashed a red light, directly absorbing all the shadows created by Shikamaru with Yindun. After removing the restraint, he called Kinshiki to fly into the air together. We can't fight here with all our strength, it will affect the village. Staring at the actions of the two, Sasuke said to Naruto beside him. Naruto naturally understood this situation, so he planned to use himself as bait to lure the enemy away, but before that, he could try to get some information from the enemy. Who are you? Facing Naruto's question, Kinshiki, as a subordinate, took the initiative to speak. My name is Otsutsuki Kinshiki, this is Lord Otsutsuki Momoshiki. Why are you targeting me? Naruto asked. Perhaps because he didn't take his opponent seriously, or because there was no need to hide anything, Kinshiki answered every question, regroup the scattered chakra into fruits, and then complete the task that Kaguya-sama has not completed on this land. Even when they are controlled, they can still activate the absorption ability. Maybe all controlled type ninjutsu will have no effect on them. The enemy has directly invaded the village again, just like the invasion of Pain before. Konoha will definitely be hesitant to fight. The situation here is not quite the same as when Pain invaded. At that time, Naruto's strongest moves were Sage Mode and uncontrolled Tailed Beast transformation. Even if he let go, the range he could affect was only so large. But Naruto and Sasuke here can affect the entire village if they are a little more serious. Kaguya-sama didn't complete the mission? Destroy the world? It's understandable that you targeted the tailed beasts in order to gain powerful strength. But I don't understand why you only want to destroy the world. It may not be the destruction of the world in the conventional sense. Uchiha Madara's infinite moon reading is intended for peace, but it does not prevent this plan from causing extinction to mankind. Damn it. If it weren't for the Uzumaki Naruto and Uchiha Sasuke, Mom would have resurrected and regained control of the world. With a complete chakra fruit and the White Zetsu army, these two guys would definitely be in trouble. There would be no such situation on the Sky Curtain. Due to his heartfelt rejection of the two Otsutsuki, Black Zetsu hated Naruto, Sasuke and the Sky Curtain, who hindered his plan, and made him more and more eager to find a Obito to save the current situation. The only way now is to use the backhand that Madara gave to Obito and control Nagato to perform the Samsara Jutsu to revive Madara. As long as this step can be completed, maybe Madara can become the Ten Tails Jinchuriki before the Sky Curtain completely exposes my true identity, so there's hope of reviving my mother. This is the only way Black Zetsu has so far. For this little hope, it has almost turned the entire ninja world upside down to look for Obito. Fortunately, it finally found some clues recently. There's still a chance, there's still a chance. No one can stop me. By the way, after the tailed beasts gather, isn't it the Ten Tails? What is the chakra fruit here? Didn't we mention the divine tree before? Maybe this is a nickname for the Ten Tails? Just like the nicknames of Tenmoku Ichishin and Datehoshi. At this time, Sasuke also conveyed the results of the previous scroll interpretation. According to Kaguya's scroll, these guys will come to seize the chakra fruit, and this is why Kaguya will gather the White Zetsu army. Tisk. Let's not talk about Kaguya first. What are they going to do with the chakra fruit? Naruto, when asked further, Sasuke replied, it is used to make pills. Afraid that Naruto would not understand, Sasuke simply explained, it means medicine. Seeing that Sasuke seemed to know a lot, Momoshiki took out a black pill and boasted, yes, as long as we have this, we can live forever, be omnipotent, and do whatever we want. And you poor and incompetent mortals can only invest your time and energy in meaningless behaviors such as training or hard work, otherwise you will do nothing. Unlike us, as long as we have pills, we can easily gain power far beyond yours without any effort. White Zetsu Core. Although I don't know what it is, since it is called a legion, it means that there must be a lot of them. No wonder Naruto thought that the battle with Kaguya was a war. Pill? It's the tailed beast that was extracted from Killer Bee after the previous fight. This method of using the tailed beasts is really unprecedented. What? Eating this thing can make you immortal and omnipotent. Is it so mysterious? Or Orochimaru's immortality has suddenly become cheap? Cheap? The material of this pill is the chakra of the tailed beasts. For those strong people, it seems that obtaining the chakra of the tailed beasts is not a difficult thing. Now it is certain that this guy is not from our ninja world. He obviously has the Byakugan, but his view of strength is like this. He relies entirely on that pill to become stronger. This tone is too arrogant. What's so proud of getting strength by taking drugs? By the way, don't you think his description is a bit familiar? It's almost exactly the same as when he mentioned scientific ninja tools before. Chapter 664. You said it so arrogantly, but a scientific ninja tool can replicate their methods. There's still a difference. At least scientific ninja tools can't make people immortal, then add Orochimaru's research results. Anyway, the abilities he described seem to be replaced by the future ninja world, so it's no big deal. That's what I said, but the power these two people showed is not fake. Real power can't be compared with the power obtained through practice. Just because it is easy to obtain, it seems that the above person will be a supporter of scientific ninja tools in the future. In the Pure Land, Uchiha Madara naturally sneered when he heard Momoshiki's views on power. In the eyes of him, the top ninja in the ninja world, it is the truth that all great power belongs to oneself. Relying on the so-called pill to obtain power is simply ridiculous. However, Uchiha Madara doesn't want to invest too much thought in this regard for the time being, because the White Zetsu army mentioned by Sasuke has deepened his original ominous premonition. The description of the six-path sage in the Nine-Tails mouth does not match the stone tablet, and now even the White Zetsu has problems. It is clearly the artificial body of Hashirama that I created, so why did Sasuke say that it became the power that Kaguya used to deal with her clan members? What is going on? Thinking of this, Uchiha Madara's face was gloomy, and a feeling of being trapped in a conspiracy suddenly arose. When Momoshiki showed off, Boruto looked at the scientific ninja tool on his wrist with a complicated look, but for Naruto, who didn't like to take shortcuts, such arguments were like farts. Stop talking nonsense, that's not real power. You inferior creatures can't understand. Momoshiki was too lazy to argue with Naruto. When Kinshiki asked how to act, he said, although I don't want to dirty my clothes, I'll do it. Anyway, this nursery needs to be cleaned up again. As he said this, Momoshiki swallowed a few pills and spread out his left hand. The visible chakra in his palm expanded rapidly. It just so happens that I have the ninjutsu I just got, so I don't have to spend much effort. As soon as the voice fell, Momoshiki raised his left hand high, and a huge chakra ball that covered the entire venue was held in his hand. The chakra ball was surrounded by 5 groups of concrete chakra energy of wind, thunder, water, fire and earth, which were the ninjutsu he just absorbed from Boruto. This Momoshiki, who calls himself immortal when he speaks and an inferior creature when he closes his mouth, looks like he deserves a beating. I want to see how powerful he is. Hiss. Such a big chakra ball. Oh my god. Although the tailed beasts have condensed tailed beast balls of this size before, it is too oppressive to use such a move with a human body. Who said it was no big deal before? Being able to use such a move means that you have already stood at the top of the ninja world. It is not certain whether Naruto and the others can win. Isn't it because they ate the pill that they have this ability? If they don't have the pill, let's see if they can still be arrogant. That sounds a bit rude, but I'm also curious. If he hadn't taken the pill, could he still use this move? I always feel that it's a little different from what I thought. Do you have to take the pill before every battle? Is it just a temporary amplification drug? I don't want to discuss this now. I just want to know how Naruto and the others will deal with the enemy's attacks. Sarada was so frightened by this horrifying scene that her legs went weak and she knelt on the ground. Boruto's lips trembled and his body stiffened. Just when despair was about to fill their hearts, Boruto noticed Sarada, who was stunned. He immediately gritted his teeth and made a seal, and conjured a shadow clone to block her. It's meaningless. Momoshiki sneered at this, waved his arm, and a fire phoenix spread its wings and flew out, hitting the 4 people and blowing up a quarter of the venue. The violent explosion instantly filled the entire venue with smoke and dust. Suddenly, orange rays of light quickly lit up around, and the gushing chakra blew away the thick smoke and dust. It was Naruto's 4 or 5 shadow clones, using the external chakra of the Nine-Tails mode to protect the people in the venue who had not had time to escape. His original body also protected himself, Sasuke and the 2 children in the same way. What is this? Boruto looked at the orange barrier that appeared with the head of the Nine-Tails in shock, and then looked at Naruto's back. Dad actually has this kind of power. Boruto's unyielding character becomes an advantage in a different environment. He was not frightened by the enemy's power. Hiss. This fire phoenix, Could it be the Fire Phoenix that Momoshiki had learned from Boruto before? I know he can increase the power of ninjutsu, but isn't the increase a bit exaggerated? Well, could it be because of those pills? With a blessing of extra power, the power of ninjutsu has been increased to this extent. Good. I knew Naruto wouldn't let you down. Beautiful reception. Momoshiki's attack is indeed strong, but Naruto is not a pushover in this state. But due to the environment, Naruto can't let go at all. How can he break the situation? Did he say before that he wanted to lead the enemy away? Just because he asked a few more questions, he has to face this situation head-on. It's okay, Naruto will definitely find a way. After all, he is the strongest in the ninja world. Take a good look at the gold content of the strongest in the ninja world, Uzumaki Boruto. Don't be scared. Boruto, as a son, is seeing Naruto in this form for the first time, but Naruto has seen it before. Well, the problem is, Naruto's performance was quite bad before. If you were in that state, he might not be a match for these two people. Seeing that Naruto and the others were safe and sound, Momoshiki sneered and waved his arms again, and a burst of lightning struck down at the few people who could not dodge, and this time Momoshiki's attack target also expanded to other people. He kept waving his arms and pouring the power he had seized. The water, earth and rock hurricanes fell one after another towards all the orange glowing positions below. The continuous and intense attacks made Naruto gradually feel tired of maintaining his defense. Seeing this, Sasuke on the side immediately used Susanoo to cover the outside of the Nine Tails chakra to form a layer of purple armor. If your original body is defeated, this place is over. Chapter 665. Seeing his opponent taking all the attacks, Momoshiki laughed heartily, squandering his strength even more wantonly as if he was playing. For a moment, the entire venue was surrounded by howling winds, lightning and thunder, and huge water tornadoes connected the sky and the ground, scaring the people who had already escaped from the venue and were watching to flee in panic. Under such an attack, even Susanoo's armor was gradually stripped off, and the chakra that manifested as the head of the Nine Tails was mostly defeated. Affected by this, Boruto's shadow clone was directly destroyed by the aftermath that passed through the loophole. Wow! Susanoo is wrapped around the Nine Tails. It can be played like this. Well, Naruto and Sasuke's teamwork is really interesting, but why do I feel like Naruto seems to be struggling? It's just an ordinary escape technique attack. Can't even the tailed beast be withstood? I remember that when Naruto was half-tailed, he roared and blew away the fireball spit out by Sasuke. Susanoo was broken just like that? It didn't even block the Nine Tails chakra. No way, it looks so cool, but it's useless. It's like this again. It looks just... It's a very ordinary attack, but the power it exerts is amazing. No. It was fine at the beginning, but under Momoshiki's continuous attack, the situation has become more and more serious, and it is gradually turning into a natural disaster. This guy is laughing so loudly, is he just playing? This kind of destructive power, is it possible that it is insignificant to the opponent? It's a bit hard to accept, but this may be the case. Remember what Momoshiki said to Kinshiki before launching the attack? It's just right that I have the ninjutsu I just got, so I don't have to spend much effort. It doesn't look like he's serious at all. Looking at the scene in the sky that seemed to be collapsing, the strong men in the ninja world fell into silence at the same time. As for Naruto and Sasuke, they woke up from the complacency caused by their recent progress in an instant. At the same time, Uchiha Madara in the Pure Land also subconsciously focused his attention on the sky. Watching Momoshiki's performance, Uchiha Madara gave a fair evaluation. There is no skill at all, just a simple release of power, but this power, even the powerful Susanoo can't stand it. In a trance, Uchiha Madara remembered the records about the Ten Tails, and seemed to see a shadow of the earth changing in this wave of attacks on the sky. This is the last blow, don't die, fox. The huge chakra ball approached quickly under the push of Momoshiki. Looking at this unavoidable blow, Naruto made a decision immediately. Sasuke, the children are in your hands. Understanding his determination, Sasuke did not pretend, and stood in front of the two children to show that he understood. Replacing the protection of the Nine Tails chakra with Susanoo with his worries solved, Naruto put his hands together and shouted loudly, "Let's go, Kurama. Your skills haven't declined." Humph. Don't be ridiculous, I'm always ready. The Nine Tails in his body also made the same move, so with the combined efforts of both parties, accompanied by Naruto's roar, A powerful chakra gushed out of his body. The complete nine tails rose from the ground, using its tail as a barrier to wrap the chakra ball and block everyone outside, while he himself raised his slender forelimbs, which were relatively slender for attacking, and struggled to support the chakra ball. After barely maintaining his balance, Naruto subconsciously condensed a tailed beast ball and was about to shoot it, but suddenly remembered the people around him who had not run far away. So he could only disperse the tailed beast ball helplessly and endured a shocking explosion at zero distance. In a burst of white light, Boruto stared at Naruto's back infatuatedly, remembering what Sasuke had said to him before about Naruto's weaknesses, and finally, when Naruto turned his face to smile, his emotions completely broke out. Dad. Fuck. Can't dodge, can't use the tailed beast ball to fight back, can only use the body to withstand. This environment is too unfavorable for Naruto. Oh my god. When this chakra ball touches the nine tails, it suddenly feels like the nine tails has become so small. Such a big chakra ball, even if Naruto has transformed into a tailed beast, he will definitely be seriously injured if he eats it completely. Don't forget that he also wrapped the attack with his tail. In order to protect the people around him, the power of this instant burst may even double. Damn. The look Naruto gave Boruto at the end, is it really possible that something has happened? Ow. This is too sudden. How is the situation? How did it get so bad in an instant? The main thing is, I didn't expect the enemy's attack pattern at all. How could such a powerful move be used right after the fight? Shouldn't the battle be gradual? After an unknown amount of time, Boruto woke up from his coma. He had just learned about the situation from Sarada and Mitsuki, who were accompanying him. Suddenly, he heard the anxious voice of Aoi calling for her mother. Boruto got out of bed and ran to the sound. He saw Aoi lying on the bedside calling for the unconscious Hinata. Sakura was treating and comforting the two anxious children. When Boruto asked why Hinata fell, she replied, she went to fight the enemy. Why did you do that? Boruto asked. Sakura looked worried when she heard it. They wanted to take Naruto away, and Hinata wanted to stop them. Then, where's Dad? With a little hope, Boruto asked cautiously, but unfortunately Sakura could not give him the answer he expected. In order to save the people in the village, she endured all the attacks alone. The scene changed, and the original examination venue, except for the place where Naruto and the others were before, was completely flattened by the violent explosion, and a huge deep pit replaced everything around. Naruto fell down after all. He was captured by the enemy. But in other words, Naruto should still be alive. After all, if he died, the nine tails would disappear, right? Hinata. Alice, in that situation, she would really risk her life. After all, there was a precedent when pain invaded before. By the way, where is Sasuke? Hinata rushed up to stop him. So where did Sasuke, who was so close, go? Take the two children and retreat temporarily. After all, that's what Naruto told you to do. Chapter 666. Although it is within the scope of Konoha, judging from the surrounding environment, it should be in the suburbs. Even in this situation, Naruto has to do his best to save those who have not run far. If it is in another place, I dare not imagine what the consequences will be. When the time comes, we can destroy it completely, and everyone can let go of their hands and feet. Didn't Pine's Shinra Tensei clear the area in this way before? In Konoha Hospital, Mitsuki also heard Sakura's explanation. He was about to comfort Boruto, but after thinking of what he had done before, Boruto was too ashamed to face others. He could only leave Mitsuki behind and rush out of the ward, passing through the lobby full of injured people and leaving the hospital. Boruto ran wildly until he was tripped by a medical box on the side of the road. When he got up, he happened to see the scientific ninja tool on his wrist. In an instant, Boruto's eyes were about to burst, and he tore off the scientific ninja tool and threw it far away, then dragged his frustrated steps into the Hokage building. When he arrived at the Hokage's office, the familiar figure behind the desk was no longer there. Boruto looked at the photo of the fourth Hokage on the wall, and remembered how he had mocked Naruto's orphan status. At this moment, he somewhat understood how Naruto felt. Walking behind the desk, Boruto looked at Naruto's old coat that he had just thrown away on the table. He picked it up and put it on subconsciously. He walked to the full-length mirror on the side. Looking at the figure in front of him that seemed to overlap with the young Naruto in the photo, Boruto wanted to cry. I'm really lame. Sure enough, people will regret it only after they make a big mistake. Big mistake? Konoha's current situation has nothing to do with Boruto. Oh, if it's about those absorbed ninjutsu, then he does have to take some responsibility. The two things happened at the same time. It's hard to say that Boruto would not be affected by the environment's influence. Plus his father was captured by the enemy and his life or death is still uncertain. It is normal for Boruto to be so depressed. Before, he mocked Naruto's orphan status, and now it's his turn. I feel uncomfortable. Suddenly I understand Hiko's ideals. Only those who have experienced the same pain can understand each other. This is a perfect interpretation. Except for the difference in hairstyle, Boruto looks exactly like Naruto after wearing this outfit. You are right. Sasuke's voice came from outside the door. He walked into the office and stood behind Boruto, looking at him in the mirror and said calmly. You were caught cheating, everyone blames you, your forward protector was taken away, and now you can't even call yourself a ninja. In addition, you made your sister sad, your mother was seriously injured, and your father was missing. If your sister didn't still love you and your mother was still worried about you, you would be the same as Naruto in the past. Boruto was speechless. After a moment of silence, he suppressed the confusion in his eyes, turned around and looked at Sasuke, and asked, My father. What did my father do at this time? Hearing this question, Sasuke's mouth curled up slightly and revealed a faint smile. It seems that you are not only interested in his weaknesses, so go ask him directly and rescue him. I can sense his chakra, which means that at least he is still alive. Did Sasuke foresee this scene a long time ago, so he didn't expose Boruto's cheating? That's probably the case. As long as Boruto doesn't say anything about wearing scientific ninja tools, he will fall into this trap sooner or later. Anyone who has been a teacher knows that it is easier to correct one's own shortcomings after making mistakes. I didn't expect that he would run into Otsutsuki's entrance. Invasion. From what Sasuke said, he wants to take Boruto with him to save Naruto. What kind of brain circuit would make such an arrangement? What kind of expectations does he have? He trusts Boruto too much? Letting Boruto cheat, thinking that he will correct his mistakes after being taught a lesson, is also because of trust in Boruto. Where does this inexplicable trust come from? Why does Uncle Sasuke still care about me? Hearing Sasuke's expectations for him, Boruto couldn't help asking, and Sasuke gave this answer, You are a very talented ninja. Although I lost to that guy, you should be able to surpass him with your talent. Why are you so sure? Boruto asked unconfidently. Sasuke replied as usual, because you are his son, and my only disciple, right? And now you are more like a loser than Naruto ever was before. The loser? What do you mean? Boruto was puzzled. Sasuke smiled. It's just a personality that refuses to admit defeat. As soon as the words came out, Boruto instantly cheered up and showed a confident smile on his face. At this time, the 5 Kage also came to the Hokage's office and expressed their thoughts one by one. Chijiro, have you forgotten us? Daru, if you don't save the Hokage, it will damage the reputation of the 5 Kage. Gaara, after all, it is related to the Otsutsuki. We can't just sit back and watch. Kuratsuchi, let's do a big job together. Boruto looked at the 4 people in surprise, and Gaara looked at his outfit with nostalgia. It's like seeing Naruto in the past. Although it's risky, it may play an unexpected role. There is a reason to take him, but it's still missing something. As he said, Sasuke handed Boruto his original forward protector. So the reason why Sasuke trusts Boruto so much is just because he is Naruto's son? No, can it be more outrageous? Don't blindly believe that his son is the same as him just because you agree with Naruto. You can use not admitting defeat as an excuse. I really admire you, Sasuke. If you can do what Naruto did, how can not admitting defeat be an excuse? After all, this word can be changed to not giving up. Gaara, why do you have the same opinion as Sasuke? Oh. It turns out that Boruto chose to trust him because he put on Naruto's old coat and felt that he saw Naruto in the past. This is reasonable. Bullshit. It turns out that the reason is the same as Sasuke's. Don't any of you Kage think that there is a problem with taking a Jonin to participate in this level of battle? Don't get too excited. Sasuke said that there is a reason for taking Boruto with him. Trust the strongest judgment in the ninja world, okay? Chapter 667. Although he was very unhappy with the complaints in the barrage, Sasuke also wanted to know what he on the sky screen was thinking. To be honest, Sasuke didn't see much good in Boruto for the time being. If he put himself in his shoes, if he wasn't Naruto's son, Sasuke felt that he would probably not accept him as a disciple. He didn't know where Sasuke on the sky screen got his confidence in him. By the way, these cages really happen to be here. They would never have thought that an event similar to a celebration would turn into a rescue operation for the Hokage. This is due to the future situation in the ninja world. If it were in the past, not stepping on them at this time would be considered a friendly gesture. There would be no such act of risking one's life to save other cages. Then everyone came to the rooftop. Sasuke activated the Samsara Eye and opened the portal to the other space through the coordinates recorded on the scroll. Shikamaru, who was temporarily in charge of the command, sent his blessings to the expeditionary team and watched the 5 cage disappear in the portal. Just when Sasuke and Boruto were about to take action, Hinata came here with Sakura's support. Facing her worried eyes, Boruto put on the forward protector with high spirits. In a trance, Hinata thought she saw Naruto when he was a teenager. Sasuke, Sakura and Shikamaru, who were also looking at Boruto, were also nostalgic at this time. "I'll be back soon." Boruto smiled brightly. Hinata, who was originally worried, nodded with trust. Sasuke looked at Boruto's expression with satisfaction and said, "Finally, you look a bit like a ninja. Let's go. Sarana, Mitsuki, I'll leave everyone to you." Leaving this sentence, Boruto followed Sasuke and disappeared into the portal. Unexpectedly, just before the portal was about to disappear, 2 figures suddenly rushed out and followed into the portal. Shikamaru, who was late to realize it, suddenly changed his face. The 2 of them rely on teleportation to approach the enemy people? Different space? So Naruto is no longer in the ninja world? Why does it sound a bit wrong? It's probably similar to Obito's Kamui space. After all, Momoshiki has the Samsara Eye, so it's not surprising that he can master this kind of time and space. So if Sasuke wasn't responsible for the transmission, we wouldn't even be able to find the enemy. This Otsutsuki is not only powerful, but also difficult to deal with. After all, he is a person who regards us ninjas as inferior creatures, so it's normal for him to behave like this. After wearing the forward protector, he looks more like Naruto. Look at these adults who are worried about. I am the only one who wants to complain. Even if they believe that Boruto has the ability of Naruto in his youth, Naruto at that time was also just a Jonin. It is obviously beyond his ability to participate in such a battle. Everyone, including Boruto himself, is so confident. Let's wait and see what role he can play. Well, 2 people sneaked in at the end. Who are they? At present, there are people in Konoha with such motives. I can't think of it. I remember 2 people, Fangzhou and his assistant, but I can't think of their purpose. Based on his previous performance, maybe he wants to defeat the 2 Otsutsuki with scientific ninja tools, and use this to promote his scientific ninja tools in front of the 5 cage. You're not that crazy, are you? The next battle will probably exceed the level of cage. Is anyone counting on scientific ninja tools to influence this level of battle? The scene changes, and under the earth-red sky, a withered tree grows on a barren land. Naruto is tied to a protruding tree root. As Momoshiki unscrupulously extracts the power of the tailed beast, he can't help but scream. After a while, Momoshiki stopped absorbing and was a little dissatisfied with the current extraction efficiency. Naruto also breathed a sigh of relief, sweating profusely, and said intermittently, "I'm so sorry. We ninjas are not as easy to control as you think." As soon as the voice fell, before Momoshiki could react, several figures quickly approached from the sky. Gaara took the lead and shot out a sand blade to cut off the protruding tree roots. Then Daru and Chijiro used their weapons to force Momoshiki and Kinshiki back. Boruto took the opportunity to get close and cut off the restraints on Naruto. Finally, Sasuke took over and successfully rescued Naruto. The established goal was completed. The next step was to deal with the 2 Otsutsuki. Gaara and Daru, who fell on 2 balls of sand, faced Momoshiki floating in the air. Chijiro and Kuratsuchi attacked from the front and back, staring at Kinshiki. Don't think can't escape from our palms. Gaara issued a battle declaration on behalf of the 5 cages, and Momoshiki immediately showed a contemptuous look when he heard it. Don't be arrogant, inferior race. This is an alternate space. It's not the same as Obito's Kamui space. Indeed, it's more like a world than a space, and I don't know how big the scope is. Naruto didn't seem to be injured at all after suffering such a strong explosion at 0 distance. Of course it's the Nine Tails' credit, but it can be foreseen that the consumption must be not small. Otherwise Naruto wouldn't be tied there without any resistance. It took only a while to draw the chakra of the 8 tails before, but when it came to the 9 tails turn, Momoshiki was so impatient. The 9 tails chakra can't be more than all the other tailed beasts combined. I don't know how strong the 9 tails chakra is, but I can see that Momoshiki's character is really bad. Their way to become stronger is to turn chakra into pills and eat them, but they actually get impatient because the chakra extraction takes too long. I really can't understand it. If it were me, I would wish the time was as long as possible. By the way, it's another time that the 5 have joined forces to fight the enemy, but this time the enemy is hard to compare with Uchiha Madara. Then let's see how the 5 perform and use that to evaluate Momoshiki's strength. Look at Momoshiki's expression. He doesn't take Aura and the others seriously at all. The battle suddenly started. At this time, on the other side, Naruto, who was rescued, recovered quickly with the help of Sasuke. After thanking Sasuke, Naruto looked at Boruto and asked with confusion and worry, "Why are you here too, and why are you wearing this?" If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelists. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 668. It's hard to explain the reason. Anyway, he is also a ninja. After saying this, Sasuke set off to help the 5 while Naruto looked at Boruto and chuckled. "It feels like looking at my own shadow clone. Do I look a little cooler?" Boruto pulled his coat a little embarrassedly, and Naruto said gently, "Well, much more handsome than before." Boruto was slightly stunned after hearing this, and couldn't help but teasing, "Have you seen some of my previous me?" Hearing this, Naruto was silent for a moment, and then said with guilt in his eyes, "I'm sorry, I ignored you too much before. I won't. Just be the same as before." Boruto interrupted after hearing Naruto's words. He said with relief, "But, when we meet occasionally, don't just preach, tell me about your past." It's something that can be solved with just 2 sentences, but it caused such a big conflict. It's easy to say, but they have to figure it out. This accident is the opportunity for change. Anyway, it's good to be able to untie the knot. Seeing this, I still think it's a bit incredible that Naruto would make his relationship with his children so stiff. I don't really understand why he became so unhappy after becoming a father. Naruto sighed with a depressed look on his face, feeling that the adult world is really complicated. Jiraiya chuckled and shook his head. Maybe it's because he's not just a father, but also the Hokage. But I also think he's a little too serious about the job of the Hokage. Don't learn from him when you become the Hokage. Jiraiya said, and suddenly remembered that he had seen the 3rd Hokage using the telescope technique several times to relax, and also remembered the situation on the sky screen when Tsunade, who became the Hokage, was lazy and ran out to drink. He immediately added with worry, "Of course, you can't take it too lightly. You have to grasp the priorities." The father and son here are untying each other's knots, and the battle with Kinshiki on the other side has also entered a white-hot state. In a fierce battle of weapons, Kinshiki hit Sasuke with a punch that was caught off guard and knocked him away. Then just when he was about to take advantage of the victory, Chojuro released a flatfish and fired a fierce chakra slash from behind Kinshiki, forcing Kinshiki to dodge and stop the combo. Such a big body, but so agile. Chojuro couldn't help but sigh after the attack failed. Kinshiki, whose offensive was hindered, changed his target and flew towards Chojuro. "You will soon regret it, regret that you shouldn't have been so popular as a soldier." Because he was not as fast as his opponent, Chojuro soon fell into disadvantage and was injured by Kinshiki. He was about to die under his axe, but a triumphant smile appeared on Chojuro's face. Kuratsuchi suddenly jumped out from the ground in front of Kinshiki, punched him hard and sent him flying into the air. Sasuke, who had recovered his breath, seized this opportunity and slashed a Chidori blade from Kinshiki's back, breaking his weapon and knocking him to the ground. Then Chojuro split the flounder into 2 big swords and used the sword technique called bone pulling. Dozens of chakra blades flew through Kinshiki's body. Kuratsuchi followed closely and used the dissolution escape technique, sealing his body with cement to completely lock Kinshiki's movements. Sasuke was relieved and set off to another battlefield. This Kinshiki's physical skills are really strong. Sasuke accidentally fell into his trap. The Sharingan was like a fake and he didn't react at all. In theory, The Byakugan combined with the soft fist is the most suitable, but this guy used this level of steel fist instead. The contrast with his body size and speed is quite inconsistent. The tone of these two Otsutsuki is too big. The Cage of the 5 major ninja villages is just a first-class soldier in Kinshiki's eyes. This is not the attitude you should have when facing a soldier. Do you think you have little chance of winning and use verbal attacks? How can you tell that he has little chance of winning? Sasuke was easily knocked away, and this new Mizukage couldn't last more than a few rounds. If it weren't for that Tsuchikage's rescue, he would have been reduced by now. Fighting against 2 cages and Sasuke at the same time, he still had a slight upper hand in the middle. Even if he was captured now, this kind of strength is quite impressive. Is it impressive? Am I the only one who feels this way? The performance of these 2 cages is quite average. That's right, compared with the 3rd Tsuchikage and the 5th Mizukage, these 2 people don't have the kind of oppressive power of the cage level at all. Maybe it's because they lack that final move. Compared with the 3rd Tsuchikage's bloodline that eliminated the dust release and the 5th Mizukage's double bloodline, these 2 new cages didn't show any outstanding abilities. This is the same argument again. Strength is not determined by the strength of the moves. According to different occasions, the corresponding tactics and appropriate ninjutsu can show the true level of a ninja. In the past generations of Kage in each village, bloodline ninjas are actually a minority. With minimal consumption, they successfully suppressed the enemy who could fight Sasuke on equal terms, and the price paid was only a slight injury to the Mizukage. How else do you expect them to perform? Inoki looked at Kuratsuchi, who could hardly hide his smugness, and mercilessly belittled him. Don't show that nose-turning look. Even if you performed well on the sky, it has nothing to do with you now. With your current strength level, don't dream of me giving you the position of Tsuchikage. I won't give it to you even if it's Tadira. Tadira? Aren't you afraid that he will blow up the village? Kuratsuchi looked surprised, and Inoki realized that he had said the wrong thing, and quickly changed his words. I'm just assuming. Anyway, I will never leave this position now. My waist. Who want to take me to the hospital? Gaara shoots out a net of sand to try to catch the enemy, and provides a foothold for Daru who launched a close attack, so that he can entangle Momoshiki who has the ability to fly. You are too slow. Naruto also rushed over at this time. Seeing that the 2 of them were unable to break the situation, he made a seal while teasing and prepared to cast a shadow clone, but was immediately stopped by Sasuke who came with him. Sasuke approached Momoshiki from the side and forced him into the ground. Seeing this, the other 3 quickly stood in coordination and surrounded Momoshiki with a siege. Chapter 669. Sasuke blocked Momoshiki with his sword and said in a derogatory way, "You can absorb ninjutsu and then release it after amplifying it, right? But those attacks are disposable consumables, and the principle is the same as the toys of the Science Ninja tool class. This makes things very simple." In the face of Momoshiki's ugly expression, Gaara cooperated and continued the conversation. Daru also said, "No need for ninjutsu, just rely on physical skills to win, although it will be very tiring." Not far away, seeing that Momoshiki was in a bad situation, Kinshiki suddenly burst out with a huge force far beyond his expectations. At the cost of tearing his skin, he broke free from the restraints of Chojuro and Kuratsuchi and flew over desperately. Relying on dozens of chakra weapons shot from behind, Kinshiki forced Naruto and others to retreat and successfully came to Momoshiki's side. It seems that the previous guess was correct. The ninjutsu absorbed by Momoshiki is a one-time thing. As long as he uses physical skills, he will be helpless. Isn't this nonsense? As long as the enemy has the ability to absorb ninjutsu, it is definitely right to use physical skills to deal with it. It was clearly used before that Naruto was unable to fight back. As a result, after Sasuke said this, the level directly dropped to the same level as scientific ninja tools, a toy version and. No way, this guy is like we are not worthy of breathing the same air with him, and he wants to put a glass cover on his head. As a result, he can't do ninjutsu himself and can only rely on absorbing others to use. Is this possible? In addition to absorbing and releasing ninjutsu, Momoshiki has no other performance at all. It's a bit too absolute to draw such a conclusion. But looking at Momoshiki's ugly expression, it seems that Sasuke is right. Since you have decided to rely on physical skills to deal with the enemy, why don't you bring a few more physical skills ninjas? To be honest, I don't understand what Sasuke and you on the sky are thinking. Momoshiki has a Byakugan, Why do you think his physical skills are weak? It's mainly because Momoshiki's face is so angry that it gives people a guilty feeling. The relationship between the two Otsutsuki is quite stable. When Momoshiki is in danger, Kinshiki is willing to protect him at the cost of injury. Do you think that Kinshiki is the stronger one among the two, and Momoshiki is just in a higher position? Blood keeps flowing out of the torn arm. At this time, Kinshiki's breathing is a little hurried, but with the determination of a martyr, he speaks firmly. Come on, Master Momoshiki, now is the time for me to give you my chakra. Just like when my father entrusted me with the power, there is no need to hesitate. Of course. Momoshiki smiled coldly, and a strong suction came from his raised right hand, turning Kinshiki into a red fruit by some unknown means, and then he ate it without hesitation. Seeing this, Sasuke's face changed slightly, and he rushed to Momoshiki and slashed at his neck. Unexpectedly, the slash of the Kusanagi sword could not hurt Momoshiki at all. With a huge amount of smoke erupting from Momoshiki, a figure with a changed shape slowly emerged in the smoke. Momoshiki's skin turned earthy red at a speed visible to the naked eye, the two horns on his head bent and grew larger, the white eyes on his face and the samsara eyes in his hands radiated golden light, and his forehead also cracked and the new golden samsara eyes grew. Hiss. Oh my god. What kind of strengthening method is this? I've seen people become stronger by injecting dark chakra, I've seen people become stronger by curse seals, I've seen people become stronger by chakra armor, and I've also seen people become stronger by absorbing the power of tailed beasts, but this is the first time I've seen people become stronger by eating their companions. Oh my god. What kind of evil clan is this Otsutsuki? Not only do they use tailed beasts to make pills, but they even use their own people as their backup food. By the way, they all have Byakugan. Wouldn't a Hyuga clan also have this kind of strengthening method? For example, the main family eats the branch family. Hinata Hayashi, who was looking at the sky, suddenly changed his face. Can such heartbreaking words be said casually? Asshole. Who is slandering our Hyuga clan? Don't compare us to monsters like the Otsutsuki, who knows? After all, your clan's Niji used his Byakugan to spy on the women's bathhouse. Ninji, damn. That was clearly Uchiha Obito's conspiracy. It's the limited Tsukuyomi. What does it have to do with our Niji? Hey. What are you talking about? Now we are talking about Momoshiki, who has changed a lot. This guy has another samsara eye on his forehead. No way, he blocked the slash of the Kusanagi sword with his body? This strength improvement is a bit outrageous. After all, it is a strengthening method of swallowing a person alive. According to logical reasoning, at least Momoshiki's original strength should be superimposed with Kinshiki's combat power, or even more. This guy doesn't look like a human anymore. He looks more like a ghost in various folktales. In the Pure Land, Uchiha Madara frowned and watched the changes in Momoshiki on the sky, muttering to himself, Otsutsuki. There are still many things I don't understand about the ninja world. Unfortunately, there are only a few records about Otsutsuki Kaguya on the Uchiha stele. Except for knowing that she is a princess, there is no other clue. In order to counter the tribe, the White Zetsu Corps prepared to aggregate chakra to form the so-called chakra fruit. So why do I see the sacred tree and the infinite moon reading? What role does the six-path sage play in this? You ate your companions. Naruto looked at the scene in front of him with a look of horror, and Sasuke frowned and said coldly, evil and crooked. Kinshiki is willing to become my strength, the transmission of power. This is the custom of our clan. Momoshiki slowly tightened his 5 fingers into a fist, looked at the people around him who were facing a great enemy, and slowly floated into the air to declare victory. The game is over, and next. I will put an end to you, the fools who rebelled against God. After the words fell, Momoshiki spread his hands, accompanied by a howl. A strong shock wave suddenly spread out with him as the origin, not only easily cutting off the big tree behind him, but also instantly knocking Naruto, Sasuke, Gaara and Daru who were too close. If the Otsutsuki clan all think like this, it would be terrible, not only for themselves, but also for their enemies. Chapter 670. I'm curious about what kind of education these Otsutsuki usually receive. They don't really think they are gods, do they? Humph. If it's Uchiha Madara, it's fine. After all, the unprecedented sense of oppression he shows is not fake, but who are these two guys? I don't know where they get the confidence to say such things. Since when did Uchiha Madara become a person who can support us? At least Uchiha Madara is also a person in the ninja world. Although his ideals will destroy mankind, it is easier for him to accept than these two Otsutsuki who regard us as inferiors. It depends on how Momoshiki performs after eating Kinshiki. The power he bursts out now is not bad. After adapting to the surging power, Momoshiki turned into a residual image, tore through the air and flew to Daru's side in an instant. Before he could react at all, he kicked Daru in the abdomen and knocked him down from the air. However, it was thanks to Daru's sacrifice that Gaara was able to control the sand to fight back. Although Momoshiki's speed after the transformation was amazing and he easily avoided the overwhelming sand attack, Gaara still seized the opportunity to tie him up with sand when he tried to attack at close range. Unfortunately, before Gaara could launch a follow-up combo, Momoshiki suddenly raised his hair, and his loose white hair tied up Gaara, who was close at hand, like a tough rope, not only disintegrating his offensive, but also punching Gaara so hard that he vomited blood and fell to the ground. Watching this scene, Chojuro and Kuratsuchi on the ground were shocked at the same time. As a result, just when they were worried about Gaara, Momoshiki approached from behind them at a speed far beyond their imagination, and knocked Chojuro away with a wave of his arm. Then, when Kuratsuchi tried to counterattack with physical skills, he hit his neck with an elbow and knocked him down easily. Daru is no match for the fourth Raikage. Without the speed and defense of the Raikage, he can't even use his best Black Thunder, so it's understandable that he lost. Gaara's attack is fast enough, but Momoshiki is even faster, especially since he has the ability to fly. He's difficult to deal with. By the way, am I the only one who noticed the small gourd on Gaara's waist? He doesn't carry the big gourd anymore when he grows up. He doesn't need his mother's protection anymore. Funny, you're so old, and it's embarrassing to still need your mother's protection. I'm the Kazekage. Teasing, humph. How many people expect their mothers to protect them all the time? The cages have no power to fight back. Momoshiki hits them one by one, as easy as killing a fusion An. Defense, speed, strength and reaction have been greatly improved, and it is not known how much effort he has put in. At present, it seems that this method of strengthening by eating companions has some merits. This evil way, no matter how strong it is, has no value at all. People who eat people are not human beings. I call myself a god. After knocking down 4 shadows in a few moves, Momoshiki immediately turned his eyes to Naruto, who was blown away by the shock wave just now. It's your turn next, Fox. At this time, Naruto was embedded in a tree trunk. Facing Momoshiki's powerful palm that came in front of him in an instant, Naruto hurriedly broke free and tried to distance himself, but saw Momoshiki approaching again at a speed not inferior to him. With a wave of fierce physical skills, he beat Naruto, who had not yet adjusted his state, without any chance to fight back. After that, he greeted him with acupuncture and heavy punches. In a moment, he grabbed Naruto's face and lifted him up in the air. Sasuke seized the opportunity and attacked Momoshiki from behind. Naruto grabbed his arm to restrict his movements. Unexpectedly, Momoshiki not only easily took Sasuke's attack with one hand and one foot, but also hit Sasuke in the face in return. Then Momoshiki jumped high and smashed the two into the ground, dragging them and running fast to plow 2 deep grooves on the ground. Finally, he threw them out with a sudden force and smashed a deep pit on the ground. Naruto is no match for them. Momoshiki's soft fist is really powerful, and he even used acupuncture points. I am more and more curious about their relationship with the Hyuga family. I didn't expect Sasuke's sneak attack to work. After all, his opponent has the Byakugan, but it's a bit surprising that he was suppressed so easily. These two are the strongest in the future ninja world. Don't worry. Although I don't know how much of Momoshiki's combat power he has used, Naruto and Sasuke must not have used their full strength. Apart from anything else, Naruto is still in normal conditions. The power of the 9 tails has not been used yet. The problem is, I don't know how much of Naruto's tailed beast power Momoshiki absorbed before. If it can't be used now. And Sasuke, the combat power of the perfect Susanoo is not fake. After a few breaths, Naruto and Sasuke, who were covered in dust, slowly stood up and walked towards Momoshiki together. Compared to before, he is like a different person. Sasuke untied his cloak slowly and threw it away. Naruto flashed with golden light and entered the fairy fox mode. He responded with high spirits. That's right, so. Let's teach him a lesson, Sasuke. As if it was a signal to start a war, as soon as Naruto finished speaking, both sides rushed towards each other at the same time. With the ground cracking in a large area, the fists thrown by Naruto and Sasuke fell steadily into Momoshiki's palm. Instead of stalemate with the enemy, Sasuke jumped up and kicked Momoshiki away, and then he and Naruto turned into two streams of light and followed closely behind, fighting with Momoshiki, who adjusted instantly at this time. Relying on the greatly strengthened body, Momoshiki's physical skills have also been significantly improved. Not only did he perform well under the pincer attack of Naruto and Sasuke, but he also seized a fleeting flaw and kicked Sasuke away in return. Look, it seems that they were hit hard, but in the end, the two of them were fine. How come the defenses of these people are so strong? It feels like they can compete with a Raikage. Haha, on the contrary, the serious Raikage Daru has been knocked down by the enemy at this time. Oh. Are these two going to join forces to fight the enemy? It feels like I haven't seen them working together for a long time. The last time, I think it was the Shenmue in the Snow Country, when they were still Jinan. Chapter 671. When these two appear together, they are basically opposing parties. They have only cooperated a few times, such as the mission with Zabuza, the mission with Shinin, and the mission in the Snow Country. I think these are the only ones I remember. This time, the two of them showed their true abilities, but Momoshiki still looked at ease. We should be able to determine his strength. It's just the beginning. A temporary advantage is nothing. It depends on whether he has the ability to turn the advantage into a winning advantage. The battle of ninjas tests comprehensive strength. It's not who has the strongest destructive power who wins. Sasuke, who has knocked flying, caught a Kusanagi sword with his feet and threw it. Naruto seized the opportunity to distract Momoshiki and block his attack. He took the initiative to fight in close combat and launched a wave of punches and kicks. Then, at the moment when he successfully suppressed Momoshiki and broke his defense, Sasuke attacked from the side and kicked Momoshiki away again with his long legs. After being slapped in the face again and again, Momoshiki roared and condensed a large red sword from the chakra ring behind him, and started the second round of weapon battle with Naruto and Sasuke. Perhaps because of his mentality, Momoshiki fell into disadvantage at a faster speed this time, and was beaten back step by the tacit attack of Naruto and Sasuke. This made Momoshiki, who claimed to be a god, so angry that his expression was distorted. Normally, Naruto and Sasuke would not be moved by this. Sasuke threw out a scroll with one hand and took out the Fuma Shuriken sealed in it. After greeting Naruto, he threw two Fuma Shuriken blessed by lightning release at Momoshiki with the technique of Shadow Shuriken. After the shuriken was thrown, Sasuke pulled the steel wire on his mouth and hand violently. In an instant, the Fuma Shuriken that passed Momoshiki disintegrated into countless sharp blades and attacked the opponent. Momoshiki, who was unable to dodge, could only roar and use Shinra Tensei to deflect the attack. See, with a slight disadvantage, his mentality is gone. It feels a bit like Boruto. Both are arrogant when they win, and angry when they lose. Tisk. It can be seen that Momoshiki must have been fighting in the wind before, otherwise his mentality would not be so bad, and his performance is almost the same as that of Konoha's Jinan. No matter how strong he is, with Momoshiki's mentality, it seems that even if he is 2 levels weaker than him, he can still beat him as long as he finds the right method. For details, you can refer to the battle between Shikamaru and Hiden, which also used the opponent's personality characteristics too. Except for that inexplicable pale absorption ability, Momoshiki is indeed no match for Uchiha Madara at the moment, and even, I think he is a little weaker than Kinshiki. Look at the moves Sasuke is using now. Uchiha's Shuriken technique plus the Caged Shuriken can still produce good results with such simple moves. Compared with this, Momoshiki's ability is simply a waste on him. After finally breaking up Sasuke's attack, before Momoshiki could catch his breath, the ground under his feet suddenly cracked, and a Wind Demon Shuriken flew out of it and attacked Momoshiki, who is close at hand. At the critical moment, Momoshiki jumped up and leaned back, avoiding this extremely hidden attack by a narrow margin, but unexpectedly, the Wind Demon Shuriken that was avoided suddenly turned into Naruto, and the rapidly rotating Spiral Shuriken in his hand was ready to go. Naruto threw out the Spiral Shuriken without hesitation. Momoshiki stretched out his right hand and was about to absorb it, but saw that the Spiral Shuriken turned into Sasuke when it was about to touch him. Momoshiki seemed to have expected this. He changed his hand gesture and threw out a red chain to tie up Sasuke, then put his 5 fingers together to turn into a hand knife and stab the opponent. Faced with this unavoidable attack, the battle-hardened Sasuke glared with his left eye and easily exchanged the positions of the two with his heavenly hand power. Then Naruto attacked from above and punched Momoshiki in the face with a solid punch, smashing through the only remaining tree stump below. Sasuke, who landed first, relied on the accumulated power of the Rinnegan to launch the Chibaku Tensei with one hand. The huge suction force cracked the earth and broke the tree roots. Countless rubble and debris wrapped Momoshiki, who was thrown into the air layer by layer. After a moment, a huge stone ball floating in the air was formed. Oh. Naruto and Sasuke's tactics seem familiar. These are the tactics they used when they first fought Zabuza. When Sasuke used the Shadow Shuriken just now, I had a sense of deja vu. As expected of their first opponent in their Jonin career, Zabuza has a great influence on them. Did Naruto also use this tactic when fighting Pain? You may not know what it means to fight the two strongest people in the ninja world. We usually call such people Zabuza. Ha. Why are you bringing up this joke again? Shennin and Fuuka Nutao and Uchiha Shin have also fought against these two. Why do they keep making fun of Zabuza? After all, Zabuza is the first enemy they teamed up to fight. Wonderful. The cooperation between these two is really beautiful. This is the style of the strongest in the ninja world. The previous battle with Uchiha Shin was just a joke. It seems that Chibaku Tensei is a universal ability of the Rinnegan, so if Sasuke wants, he can actually create Pain's 6 paths, can he? The Hungry Ghost Path of Pain's 6 paths can absorb chakra. If Sasuke can do it, why didn't he absorb Momoshiki's attack before? Maybe there is some kind of limitation. Forget it, the matter of the Rinnegan is too complicated. Until now, we still don't know whether Sasuke's Rinnegan is original. Uchiha Madara took decades to open the Samsara Eye after obtaining the power of Oshirama Senju, so how did Sasuke get the Samsara Eye before he was in his 30s? The battlefield was silent for a moment, but soon, Momoshiki's murderous roar came from the stone ball, and his golden eyes were filled with anger like a volcanic eruption. Inoke Kenmei. The stone ball suddenly exploded with a gap, and a dragon-headed snake-bodied monster rushed out of the seal and attacked Naruto and Sasuke. After the two of them worked together to break it, Momoshiki, who was completely freed from the seal, fell to the ground with a roar, punched the ground and hid a bottomless ravine, and then the whole person turned into a shadow and flashed between Naruto and Sasuke. With a swing of his arms, he knocked Naruto into the crack of the rock layer. Sasuke was also thrown into the air without any resistance under a huge force. Momoshiki crossed his 10 fingers and held them together, controlling the mountain wall to close and imprison Naruto in it, then raised his hand and slapped the ground, releasing multiple dragon-headed snake monsters to launch a 360-degree attack on Sasuke. Chapter 672. Although Sasuke defended himself with the initial form of Susanoo at the first moment, he was inevitably affected by the fire attribute chakra that Momoshiki subsequently injected into the monster's body. Half of his face was severely burned, and then he was directly blown away in a violent explosion. I don't know whether Momoshiki is strong in defense or recovery. He has been hit so many times, but how can he still look so energetic? Except for his poor mentality, this guy's strength is actually on the same level as Naruto and the others. Hiss. This is the first time I've seen such a powerful fire escape. It couldn't even block Susanoo. Sasuke is disfigured. No. Oh my god, it hurts just looking at it. It's okay. With Sasuke's experience and training with Orochimaru, he can. It's not difficult to recover from this kind of injury. What? The power of Orochimaru in Sasuke's body was drained away by him when he was fighting Itachi. It won't affect Sasuke's fighting power, right? Although I feel that Naruto can win alone, it's safer to fight with two people. Momoshiki grinned and prepared to continue chasing, but unexpectedly, the ground under his feet suddenly shook and interrupted his action. Naruto escaped from the mountain with the joint efforts of the four shadows, and jumped into the air in a completely tailed beast posture to catch Sasuke. Half-hugging Sasuke, looking at his severely burned half-cheek, Naruto released the power of the nine tails to help him recover, and roared at Momoshiki. More dragon-headed snake monsters bit the nine tails under Momoshiki's control, but they were soon torn off by the angry Naruto. Momoshiki then released a huge fire phoenix to attack the nine tails, but it was also caught by Naruto's wings and torn apart by Naruto's explosion. At this time, Sasuke recovered under the effect of the nine tails chakra. He pressed Naruto's hand and conveyed his inner thoughts to him with just a glance. So with Naruto's understanding smile, the power of Susanoo suddenly erupted, covering the nine tails to form a huge armored warrior with nine tails, and Momoshiki was not to be outdone. He gathered the surrounding rocks to transform into a stone giant with lava all over his body, and swung his thick arms to hit the nine tails on the opposite side. Facing the oncoming giant hand, Susanoo Nine Tails generated a chakra knife out of thin air, lowered his head to avoid the attack, and swung the knife to cut off the stone giant and detonated it. The aftermath of the slash tore the earth and raised a huge amount of smoke and dust, and Momoshiki in the giant's body was also seriously injured. If the other 4 Kage hadn't taken action, I would have almost forgotten about them. Although I'm only here to help, since you guys volunteered, please don't slack off. Although Momoshiki can't show his strength in a disadvantageous situation due to his mentality, he is still very powerful in an advantageous situation. The other Kages except Naruto are already a level weaker than him, so it's understandable that they can't intervene in the battle. Compared to the original 5 Kage, they knew they were no match for him, but they still fought hard in the face of the enemy. Uchiha Madara was brave enough to risk his life in battle. It's mainly because there is no support in command like the 3rd Tsuchikage. Although Naruto is very strong, he doesn't have the habit of asking his companions for help. He usually rushes forward alone. Naruto also transforms into a tailed beast. You two, please don't make such ambiguous poses. I remembered something that I can't say. Nosebleed, ha ha ha. I'm shocked by the friendship of Konoha and my scalp is numb. I just want to ask, have you two ever hugged your wives in this position? Oh. The power of the Nine Tails is amazing. Sasuke recovered from such severe burns in the blink of an eye. Wow. The complete Nine Tails plus the complete Susanoo, these 2 moves can really be combined. Although it seems that the size is not as big as Uchiha Madara's Susanoo, it is still impressive enough. Momoshiki is both fire and earth. It turns out that he can use ninjutsu himself. I thought he could only rely on absorbing other ninjutsu. It's possible, but it doesn't seem as powerful as before. This lava giant looked very powerful, but was killed by Naruto and his friends in one move. Do you think it's possible that Momoshiki didn't become weaker, but Naruto and his friends became stronger? Momoshiki's attack must have become stronger. After all, it was strengthened by Kinshiki, but after Naruto and his friends used all their skills, they exceeded his growth. Anyway, we won. With this kind of devastating power, big scene. I'm so excited that my heart is about to jump out. With such strength, it's no wonder that he can defeat Uchiha Madara and the 10 Tails in the 4th war. I'm so handsome on the sky screen. Naruto blushed and blew out a thick breath through his nostrils. Although I already knew that my future self would be the strongest in the ninja world, this is the first time I have felt the weight of this title so intuitively. To be honest, it's really great. On the other side, Sasuke couldn't help but curl his lips. Although he has now given up the idea of revenge, he is obsessed with not wanting to lose to Naruto, especially since Naruto is the strongest in the ninja world on the sky screen. Sasuke's pursuit of power has not decreased but increased. So, after seeing his performance on the sky screen, Sasuke was able to hold back his laughter, which was a good performance of his control. It is precisely because of this highlight the performance made the two completely ignore the ambiguous action and the ridicule of the barrage, otherwise they would not have such a smug expression at the moment. So awesome. Boruto looked at the 2 people who were falling from the sky after removing the tailed beast transformation with admiration, and the 4 shadows who were also paying attention to the battle came to the 2 people, looking at Momoshiki who was seriously injured and floating in the air, and discussed how to deal with him. Before they could discuss the result, 2 unexpected figures rushed down from the cliff beside them. The fully armed Fangs who rushed to the front and shouted to the assistant carrying the camera behind him, "The camera must fully capture the power of this scientific ninja tool. We must let the world see the power of the scientific ninja tool I invented. Take it, this is a return gift from before." As soon as the words fell, Fangzu poured out all the ninjutsu stored in the ninja tool towards Momoshiki in the air. In the blink of an eye, all kinds of flames, lightning and shadows disappeared in Momoshiki's palm, causing Naruto and others who were unable to stop it to suddenly change their faces. Chapter 673. PFFT. I almost forgot about this. These 2 people, no way. They are really risking their lives to promote scientific ninja tools. You must have messed up your brain with research. Naruto only banned the use of scientific ninja tools in the Chunin exams, not completely denying scientific ninja tools. Just think about it and you know there will be promotion plans later. Why is that so serious? The key is, just kill yourself, don't involve others. Fortunately, This guy only fired some ordinary ninjutsu, and Naruto and the others didn't seem to have exhausted their strength. We still have the strength to fight, and things are not irreversible yet. I think so, probably because of the battle between the 5 Kage and Uchiha Madara. That time was the real despair. Even if we tried our best, we could not see any hope of victory. Compared with that, Momoshiki, it is hard to feel nervous. Thank you, stupid guys. Momoshiki, who absorbed the chakra, was like taking a tonic pill. Not only did his injuries recover, but he was also able to use the amplification eye technique of Gyohoungshin Lingzhen again, and raise his hand to launch a barrage of firebombs at Naruto and others. Everyone used their own abilities to withstand this wave of attacks, and just as they were about to counterattack, Momoshiki laughed wildly and fired the absorbed Shadow Ninjutsu. In an instant, everyone except Sasuke and Boruto were fixed in place. This ability is great. Momoshiki said as he shot several black rods through Naruto's limbs. Be extra careful with you. Don't worry, I won't let the fox die for the time being, but there is no need for the others to exist. A ball of high-density lightning chakra gathered in Momoshiki's palm and aimed at the 4 Kages who could not move. Perhaps because of his excessive concentration, Momoshiki did not notice that Sasuke was bringing Boruto to the air beside him. Right now, do as I said just now and release the Rasengan. Sasuke said to Boruto, but he was quite unconfident at this time. Fortunately, after Sasuke's encouragement, Boruto still rubbed out a small Rasengan, and then threw it fiercely at Momoshiki and Naruto's surprised eyes. At this time, Momoshiki also noticed the movement here, and calmly raised his right hand to absorb the Rasengan. As a result, before the two sides came into contact, the Rasengan disappeared directly into the air. Facing Boruto's unwilling expression, Momoshiki nonchalantly put down his arm. Unexpectedly, at this moment, an invisible impact hit Momoshiki's shoulder, interrupting his ready attack and releasing the shadow binding technique. I'm really impressed. He just threw out all the ninjutsu he just absorbed, without considering the occasion and the effect. Luckily, the enemy's tactical level is so poor, otherwise Naruto and his team wouldn't have won so easily just now, and now it wouldn't be like this. With Momoshiki's arrogant personality, he actually expressed admiration for the shadow secret technique. The gold content of the Nara clan has been greatly improved. Tisk. What's so great about this guy's praise? I think he is just an ignorant country bumpkin. He calls himself a god but was beaten like a dog by Naruto and Sasuke. You can despise his character, and you can also ignore his tactical level, but it's better to have a little respect for his power. After all, it is real destructive power. I was still thinking about how to break the situation just now. Either Gaara used sand to block Momoshiki's attack, or Sasuke took action, but I never thought that Boruto would take action here. At such a long distance, what effect can such a small Rasengan have? Look, it disappears directly. Hey! It hits. What happened? The Rasengan disappeared just now, right? How come it still hits? It must be Sasuke who moved the Rasengan to Momoshiki's side, just like Kakashi used Kamui to move the Rasengan to Obito's space. The crisis was temporarily resolved. Sasuke brought Boruto to Naruto's side. Looking at Boruto, Naruto asked curiously, when did you learn the Rasengan? It's not easy to learn this move. Hearing this, Boruto smiled proudly, and Sasuke explained, I told him that as long as he learned the Rasengan, I would accept him as my disciple, and he learned it in just a few days, and integrated it with his specialty, Thunder Release, which accidentally changed the nature of chakra and created this disappearing Rasengan. Is that so? Naruto smiled with relief, but was immediately attracted by Momoshiki who got up again not far away. Damn it, the guy who spoiled my clothes twice. This kind of situation that was beyond his expectations happened again and again, and now he was plotted against by a kid who he didn't take seriously at all. How could the arrogant Momoshiki tolerate this? He immediately condensed several pills and swallowed them. With a burst of steaming hot air, Momoshiki's muscles swelled and tightened, and he let out a hysterical roar, disappearing Rasengan? This works too. It turns out that the change in the nature of lightning can develop the effect of disappearance. This is the first time I've heard of it. It's not surprising. After all, Earth escape can also develop the effect of affecting gravity in addition to hardness, and lightning escape is naturally no exception. It's just that the people who are best at lightning escape in the ninja world are basically concentrated in Kumagakure, but you also know how they use lightning escape, and they are basically developing in the direction of ninjutsu. It feels a bit far-fetched. Even if you can't see it, the chakra is there, right? The Byakugan can see the flow of chakra, and the Sharingan and Samsara have the same effect. Why can't Momoshiki see it? He has 7 eyes, right? Let's not discuss whether Momoshiki can see it. Just for this one move, Sasuke brought Naruto to this place, and vowed that he would definitely work. Where did this profit come from? Just say it didn't work. I think if Sasuke had taken action himself, he should have achieved the same result. Whispering, I don't understand. I don't understand Sasuke's train of thought. Momoshiki has become stronger again. How many pills does he have hidden? Seeing Momoshiki's changes, Naruto asked Boruto to use Rasengan again. Boruto was a little hesitant about this. Although his disappearing Rasengan could catch the enemy off guard, its power was too small after all. Fortunately, after Naruto's encouragement, Boruto finally mustered up the courage to use it. Chapter 674. Then Naruto motioned Boruto to come closer, spread his hand and placed it under his palm. Instantly, the originally dim mini Rasengan burst into blue light. Not only that, as Naruto's hand slowly raised, the Rasengan expanded rapidly at a speed visible to the naked eye, and in the process, a series of real and illusory figures flashed on both sides of Boruto: Jiraiya, Minato and Kushina, Neji, Sasuke, Hinata. It was the bond that Naruto had been connected with for decades, from the past to the future, and finally condensed into the huge Super Vortex Rasengan held high in Boruto's hand. Naruto lowered his arm and handed the formed Super Whirlpool Rasengan to Boruto. Feeling the weight in his hand, Boruto couldn't help but sigh in his heart. It's so heavy. How much effort must it take to make it like this? Looking at Naruto's unreserved trusting eyes, Boruto closed his eyes and let his tears drift away. Then he looked at Momoshiki with determination and said with high spirits, I don't like failure. Is this to learn from Laolan that time, when the father and son performed the Rasengan together? Is it just simply getting bigger? Isn't there the resonance between the 4th Hokage and Naruto? I think big is enough. As long as it can hit Momoshiki, it will be no problem to kill him. Alice, these are all held together. Boruto's hand raised is a testimony to Naruto's growth. Only by seeing this can we deeply feel that it is a picture of the future. I always feel that Neji is a bit out of place among these figures. Is his relationship with Naruto that good? Based on the content currently exposed, the time when the two had the deepest intersection was the battle in the Chunin exam and the mission to rescue Sasuke. The time when they protected the Miko was just a very ordinary relationship between superiors and subordinates. It is indeed a bit strange to think so. If Neji can do it, then Gaara should be able to do it too. No matter how you look at it, his connection with Naruto is closer. The Sky Curtain has not shown all of Naruto's experiences in the past few decades in detail, and there are parallel worlds. Who knows what kind of deeper friendship Naruto and Neji will have later. Sure enough, no matter how much you say, it's better to let Boruto experience it firsthand. Do you feel the greatness of your father? It's normal for young people to have some shortcomings. Boruto's nature is not that bad. As long as he doesn't go down the wrong path, with his talent, he will be an excellent ninja. There is no problem. Okay, the conflict between father and son is completely over. Next, it's time to let Momoshiki experience how heavy Naruto's life has been in the past few decades. Otsutsuki. See how powerful the Child of Prophecy is. The Child of Prophecy has expired. But it doesn't matter. In this kind of occasion, just get excited. Jiraiya, does everything start from me? Minato, you did a great job, let's pass it on. Kushina, no matter what, Mom supports you. Neji, why is there me? Never mind, I can become that guy's strength. Sasuke, now it's a little interesting. Hinata, come on. Oh. Naruto stood up excitedly and threw a set of punches, ignoring the strange looks from others around him, and shouted, go. Sasuke stood in front of Boruto, told him that he only had one chance, and then dodged and rushed towards Momoshiki. Boruto also twisted his wrist to hide the Super Whirlpool Rasengan in his hand, and attacked right behind Sasuke. Relying on the inside of the Sharingan, Sasuke dodged dozens of black sticks shot by Momoshiki with extremely fast body movements, and then jumped high and threw the Kusanagi sword in his hand. Although Momoshiki dodged this attack, with the exchange of the power of the Sky Hand, Sasuke came behind Momoshiki in an instant, and Chidori had already started to hit the enemy in front of him furiously. In this regard, Momoshiki, who was concentrating, seemed to have expected it. The moment Sasuke activated the power of the Sky Hand, he turned around to face him. Not only that, even Boruto, who turned into the Kusanagi sword in the air, could not escape his eyes. After catching the kunai thrown by Boruto without looking back, Momoshiki's other hand was already aimed at Sasuke, ready to absorb Chidori's attack. Instantly, Sasuke took in the situation in front of him, and immediately glared with his left eye, exchanging the Chidori in his hand with the kunai in Momoshiki's hand, not only successfully allowing the Chidori to paralyze Momoshiki's body, but also using the kunai to destroy the Samsara Eye on his right hand that absorbed ninjutsu. Wow! Such a big Rasengan, Boruto can actually make it disappear. Nonsense. Otherwise, all Sasuke's arrangements would be in vain. Beautiful. In less than 2 seconds, he changed his offensive and defensive tactics several times. Sasuke is indeed the real deal. The exchangeability of the Samsara Eye can even exchange ninjutsu. Only Sasuke, who has strong insight, can play such a trick and seize this opportunity in such a short time. Okay, Momoshiki's right-hand Samsara Eye is useless. Boruto's Rasengan doesn't have to worry about being absorbed. From here, we can see that Momoshiki is really not good enough. You can tell with your ass that the opponent will definitely prioritize solving his absorption ability in order to launch the final attack. As a result, he was not on guard at all. Once again, he broke away from his control. The furious Momoshiki ignored the kunai that pierced his palm and roared to release his unparalleled strength on Sasuke. The instantaneous burst made Sasuke unable to fight back. Soon, Momoshiki was knocked far away and hid a thick tree root. "I'll leave it to you later, Boruto," as Sasuke shouted. Boruto's several shadow clones launched a close-range attack on Momoshiki. Perhaps affected by his mentality, Momoshiki actually revealed a flaw in the entanglement with Boruto. Boruto did not disappoint Naruto and Sasuke's expectations. He seized this opportunity and came to Momoshiki's eyes. The Super Vortex Rasengan that was originally hidden appeared in his hand again. Rasengan. With Naruto's past and his own determination, Boruto fiercely threw the Super Whirlpool Rasengan at Momoshiki. Unexpectedly, just before the attack, Momoshiki raised his left hand and instantly released a red chakra ball of exactly the same size, directly turning the inevitable death into a confrontation. The two sides were deadlocked, roaring at the same time and pressing the attacks in their hands towards each other. In the end, due to Momoshiki's hasty response, Boruto had a slight advantage in this confrontation. The Super Whirlpool Rasengan crushed Momoshiki's attack and hit the opponent solidly. Chapter 675. Momoshiki was blown into the air without any resistance, and the vortex-like twisting force sucked his body tightly. Finally, with a violent explosion, Momoshiki completely disappeared in this alien space. Why is Sasuke so strong and weak at the same time? He always appears in such a situation where he can't resist. You really put all your hopes on Boruto, Naruto, and Sasuke. Don't you think it's too hasty? With Momoshiki's absorption ability destroyed, I think it doesn't matter whether the Rasengan disappears or not. I feel that it's not impossible to let Naruto do it. Ha ha ha. On the other hand, doesn't it just mean that the two of them have completely ignored Momoshiki and think that Ajinan can handle him? Wow, Momoshiki, you are really no good. You are so embarrassed by Boruto's shadow clones. Damn. At this time, Momoshiki can still burst out such a strong force, and the result is such a situation. I am really impressed. At first I thought he was too strong, but the more I watch, the more I think he's really bad. Okay. Done. Destroyed completely. A big hole was blown open in the earth-red cloud, and dazzling white light poured down on Boruto. Sasuke came to Naruto's side, said a few words of concern to him, then sat down without any image, and looked at Boruto with Naruto. It seems that I won this contest. Seeing that Naruto hadn't reacted yet, Sasuke reminded him, the nature of a ninja will not change, even your son. Hearing this, Naruto smiled with relief, looked at Boruto bathed in the light, and sighed sincerely. Boruto, you are right, my situation is different from my father's, and I am here now, so I can watch you grow up, and it will be the same in the future. Haha, Sasuke is really serious. Are you so eager to beat Naruto? The outside can change, but the inside is better to stay the same. I don't want to be laughed at by some little brats in the future and say that I am out of date. The greatest contribution of these two Otsutsuki is that they made Naruto sober up from the heavy work and restored some of his youthful spirit. That's it, Naruto, don't let your children have regrets. Minato smiled with guilt and relief. I believe you can do what Dad didn't do. The scene changed to Naruto's home. After the family of four had breakfast together after a long absence, the father and son walked out of the house together under the eyes of Hinata and Zyuki. After encouraging each other, they set off in different directions and started their new day's work. It was still the big screen in the commercial center. On the familiar talk show, Boruto faced the camera and talked about the process and results of the Otsutsuki incident. Finally, after sending his usual blessings and expressing his expectations for the reopened Chunin exam, Boruto disappeared into the camera in a cloud of smoke. On the Hokage Rock, the four members of Konohamaru's class finished watching the interview. Sarada teased Boruto about his shadow clone and his previous cheating. As Boruto was making a flustered defense, she asked hesitantly, "Hey, Boruto, you actually want to be a Hokage, right?" "Hokage?" Boruto muttered the word and was silent for a moment, then grinned and replied with a nonchalant smile, "I'm not interested. Even if Grandpa and Dad are Hokage, it doesn't mean I have to follow the same path as them." Boruto looked into the distance with a face full of longing. "Sarada, my goal is to become a ninja like your dad. I want to follow my own ninja way." So, Boruto's cheating is written off. After all, he participated in the action of saving Naruto, and played a key role, so it is reasonable to make up for his mistakes. With Boruto's face-saving personality, he can challenge the Chunin exam again so openly, and he can be teased by Sarada about this matter. The matter must have been turned over. Boruto's lack of interest in Naruto was expected, but I didn't expect his goal to become a ninja like Sasuke. I say it again, Naruto and Sasuke, your two families really got the wrong child, and the target of your admiration is actually each other's father. I had a little change of mind about that kid, but he still has this attitude towards Naruto, and he even regards the arrogant Sasuke as an idol. What a short-sighted guy. Naruto said angrily. Boruto's dream touched Sarada a little, and then the today's mission began, and the goal was to capture the bear or panda at the beginning of the story. With the abilities of the three of them, this mission was naturally completed easily, and therefore Boruto and Sarada had extra time to argue about what species the mission target was. You have such a good relationship. Seeing the argument between the two, Mitsuki said enviously, "If my parents could talk to me like you do, how great it would be." By the way, I forgot to ask you, who are your parents? Boruto asked curiously while standing on the big bear. Mitsuki tilted his head and replied with a smile, Didn't I say? His name is Orochimaru. Boruto didn't react to Mitsuki's answer, but Sarada immediately showed an expression that she couldn't hold back when she heard it. "Hey. Are you the son of Orochimaru? Is he your father? Or your mother?" Sarada asked with a subtle look on her face, and Mitsuki gave an ambiguous answer, "I don't care about that." Seeing that the two seemed to be saying something in secret, Boruto suddenly shouted in displeasure, "I say, who is that Orochimaru? And what does it mean to not care?" As Boruto shouted, the picture quickly zoomed out, and Orochimaru's back appeared on the top of the building behind the three people, looking at them silently. I didn't expect this topic to be brought up again. It turns out that it's not just Jojo who has doubts about Orochimaru's gender, Sarada does too. Hey. That silhouette is Orochimaru, right? He actually showed up in Konoha so openly. The future Orochimaru is really completely harmless. That's all. Start extracting keywords for the next issue. Keywords extracted based on this issue's speeches, randomly selected, confirmed, keywords for the next issue, dream, end of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone, see you in the next video.